Who would have thought that I, a divorced man who was left with nothing, could make a comeback and become a citywide food tycoon by selling snacks? Earn 30,000 yuan a day. I not only win the hearts of foodies with my cooking skills, but also get besieged by school beauties, white, rich beauties, and pure female college students. Boss Sue, I just want your contact information, not the food. Yue next to me silently handed over the lunchbox with a red face. A group of customers shouted, "Nono's stepmother is here." On the other side, my ex-wife Xiao Feifei stared at the video on her phone. She saw me interacting with the new beautiful customers and felt mixed emotions. She frowned. Why is Su Yang so popular? He is obviously a divorced poor man. Why? She regretted it, but was there any room for maneuver? At this moment, in front of Su Yang's stall, a drama of love and desire was unfolding. Hi everyone, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and if you like this story, please let me know in the comment section. I will update the next part. I stood in Tiananmen Bridge Square, watching the crowd growing larger and larger as time went by, and vaguely heard a not-so-harmonious singing voice. A copycat version of Halen stood in the middle of the square. It was not the first time I heard of him. He used to make a fortune by imitating Jay Chou, but his traffic had long since faded. This time he went to Jay Chou's national tour concert, probably hoping to become popular again. He also paid for a front-row seat at the concert, obviously to stir up the hype. He took the microphone and sang the classic song, All the Way North. Although his singing skills were average, Jay Chou's songs were so charming that they still attracted a lot of people to watch. I'm heading north, leaving the season with you. The song echoed in the square, and the onlookers cheered excitedly, took photos, and even posted them on WeChat moments. But I noticed that there was a large group of people on the other side, queuing impatiently in front of my stall, complaining all kinds of things. Damn it! Why are there so many people at Mr. Su's stall? Someone complained, but still gritted his teeth and stood in the line. It seemed that they couldn't refuse my stuff. Someone even joked, it's harder to grab Mr. Su's food than to grab concert tickets. Even scalpers don't dare to cut in line, for fear that they will be unable to resist eating in the end. While they were cursing Hey Luan for trying to gain popularity, they were glaring at the food at my stall, as if that was their real target. I couldn't help laughing as I listened to their argument, thinking that although they had to queue, no one would get preferential treatment, and my stall has always been about equality for all. The square was packed with people, and even the director of Jay Chou's concert was mixed in the crowd. He stood at the back of the line, looking at the more than 50 people in front of him, and couldn't help muttering, "Why is it so slow?" However, I have heard these complaints many times, and I don't take them to heart. I just focus on making my food and try to make each one the best it can be. Soon someone came by with my fried beef noodles, crystal cake, and mung bean shaved ice, looking very satisfied. The smiles on their faces made me feel that all the busyness was worth it. But there are also unfortunate ones, such as those at the end of the line. I have limited ingredients, and seeing that the last 30 people in line are out of luck, I can only ask someone to tell them, "Sorry, we're sold out." A woman stood at the end of the line, looking frustrated as she watched her hopes shatter. She muttered, "It seems I'm really unlucky." But she was soon comforted. Someone told her that I usually set up a stall in the university town at night. She immediately cheered up and made up her mind to go there at night. When closing the stall, I heard a middle-aged man in the distance complaining to the people around him. "Gung Hong, I told you to hurry up. Now all the good stuff is gone." I couldn't help but laugh. I started my electric tricycle and left the square. The onlookers made way for me. Those who got to eat the food I cooked were very happy, while those who didn't could only blame themselves for coming too late. I rode all the way to a commercial area and saw a lot of people gathered in front of me from a distance. It seemed that they were shooting a commercial. I looked closely and found that the celebrity who was endorsing the commercial was Yangmi. I was a little unsure, so I asked a passerby next to me, and he nodded and confirmed that it was her. I didn't expect to run into this big star here, and I felt a little complicated. Assistant Yangmi, who had been secretly following me, suddenly came up to me and asked me excitedly, "Are you a fan of Sister Me?" I frowned, then shook my head and said, "I seldom watch TV, and I don't pay much attention to the entertainment industry. It's mainly because my daughter likes her very much." When the assistant heard me say I had a daughter, he was stunned for a moment. He looked quite surprised when he saw my expression. He probably didn't expect me to look so young. She seemed to have found a breakthrough and continued, "Since your daughter likes Sister Me, do you want an autograph from her or a photo with her?" I was a little surprised. Although I didn't have much feeling for Yangmi, if I could get an autograph photo to give to her daughter, she would definitely be very happy, right? Seeing that I was hesitating, the assistant immediately introduced herself. "Do you know who I am?" I am Yangmi's agent and assistant. After she said that, she took out her cell phone to show me the evidence. There was Yangmi's WeChat in my phone, as well as their chat records, and even content about them discussing film and television plans. This made me believe it a little. But then she said, if you still don't believe me, I have some private photos of Sister Me here. Do you want to see them? I coughed when I heard this. I thought it was a bit outrageous. I quickly nodded to show that I believed her. Otherwise, if she came up with something more exciting, I really wouldn't know how to respond. Seeing that I finally believed him, the assistant smiled with satisfaction and continued. In that case, it would be no problem to sign autographs, take photos, or even have Sister Me record a short video for your daughter. The more she spoke, the more I felt that things were not simple. The gifts of fate always came with a price tag, and I felt that she had some ulterior motive. Sure enough, she changed the subject and said, but I have a small request. This revealed her true purpose. What's your request? I asked. She smiled and said, can you make a portion of all the delicious food you made in the square for me and Sister Me? I was relieved to hear her request. It turned out that she came for my delicious food. This is simple, but I have no ingredients now, and I have to go home to get them. Unexpectedly, the assistant immediately said, it's okay. Sister Me's commercial shoot will be over in a while. After the shoot, we will go to your house to pick it up. I quickly waved my hands and said, I'm afraid that's not possible. My old house is not big and the conditions are average. It's not very convenient to go there. The key point is that I have to rush to pick up my daughter from school. I explained, I have to pick up my daughter around 5:30, so I may not be able to make it here. When the assistant heard this, his eyes lit up. 5:30? That's a coincidence. Sister Me's photo shoot also ends at 5:30. We can go together. I sighed in my heart. It seemed that this assistant would not turn back until he hit the wall. I was afraid that he would be in big trouble next. In order to meet the request of Yang Mi's assistant, I was pulled by her to the backstage of the filming of the advertisement. Standing in the front row, looking at Yang Mi in person, her temperament is indeed more dazzling than on the screen. The white t-shirt outlines her well-proportioned curves, and the black stockings under the pleated skirt show off her long and straight legs. It's no wonder that she is surrounded by male fans with such charm. The process of shooting the commercial was maddening. A simple shot was shot over and over again. If it weren't for No, I would have wanted to say hello and turn around and leave. I yawned and was wondering when it would end, when I suddenly caught a glimpse of a person next to me watching TikTok on his phone. The video on the screen caught my attention. The picture shows a group of kindergarten children crying loudly, and the title reads, How to Make an Entire Kindergarten Cry. Only 3 dishes are needed. When I clicked on it, I saw a few children holding bowls and eating twice-cooked pork with rice. Their mouths were full of oil, and the aroma was so delicious that I could smell it through the screen. On the other side, the kids who didn't get any meat looked on helplessly, biting their fingers and shedding tears. With the background music, the scene was very funny. I couldn't help but laugh out loud. This video is so wicked. Isn't it obviously a smear campaign against me? But this familiar scene, No is also in it. When we opened the comment section, the discussion became even more outrageous. Someone recognized the child in the video and said that it was Boss Sue's daughter, and the comments immediately exploded. Boss Sue actually personally prepares lunch for the kindergarten? Oh my god! What kind of fairy kindergarten is this? Someone else joked. Boss Sue is indeed the #1 foodie in Shanghai. Then I saw some comments about couples fighting over someone. What Boss Sue? That's my husband. Stop it, that's my husband. Even male netizens joined in the fun. The person next to me stared at his phone for a moment, then turned around and touched me and asked, Dude, do you know who this Boss Sue is? He can even be on the hot search list just by setting up a stall. Isn't that too awesome? I was stunned, coughed twice, touched my nose, and answered as if nothing had happened. I don't know him. But the embarrassment on my face probably betrayed me already. He looked at my reaction, shook his head, and said with disdain, I thought he was famous, but it turns out it's all hype. There are all kinds of traffic methods these days. I was thinking about how to change the subject when another person next to me suddenly stared at me. His eyes turned from confusion to surprise, and finally, he slapped his thigh. Fuck, isn't this Boss Sue himself? He shouted, shaking his friend's shoulder. The person you just asked is right in front of you. After hearing this, I really didn't know how to respond. I had just denied it so straightforwardly, and now that I was recognized, I could only smile and nod. Boss Sue, you are here to see Yang Mi as well, right? He asked directly, with a hint of in his tone. I opened my mouth and was about to explain, but he smiled and waved his hand. No need to explain. It's a man's nature to look at beautiful women, especially for a single person like you. You will understand. His expression was too determined, so I simply didn't bother to correct him. I just sighed in my heart. I really didn't come here for Yang Mi. I just stumbled upon her by accident. He then continued, I heard that you were divorced a long time ago. It's lonely to be alone. It's normal for you to be moved when you see Demimi. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I clearly came here just to fulfill my assistant's request. But how come after all the talk, I ended up coming here for Yangmi? But no matter what, the shooting of this advertisement is not over yet. Seeing Yangmi's eyes occasionally sweeping over me, I can only bite the bullet and continue to stay where I am, waiting for the end. Boss Sue, do you still have fried beef noodles? I want to buy one. Someone recognized me with anticipation in his eyes. Sorry, we're sold out. I shook my head helplessly. The ingredients for the day had already been sold out. Hearing this, the other party looked disappointed and left with a sigh. I thought I was lucky today. I could meet Goddess Yangmi and eat Boss Sue's delicious food, but in the end, I got nothing. He walked away muttering. At this time, Yangmi's advertising shoot was finally over. She left surrounded by staff, and the crowd gradually dispersed. I was about to turn around and leave, but Yangmi's assistant grabbed me and dragged me into the lounge, saying that they wanted to discuss something. As soon as I walked in, I saw that Yangmi had changed out of her shooting clothes and was wearing a sky blue casual outfit. Even so, it was still difficult to conceal her star aura. She raised her head slightly and looked at me with a probing look in her eyes. Then she smiled sweetly and asked, "Are you Boss Sue?" "Yes, it's me." I nodded. Although she looked familiar, I really couldn't remember where I had seen her. "I heard that your daughter is my fan?" Yangmi asked with a blink, her tone gentle but a little naughty. "Yes, she likes your acting very much." I answered, already guessing the other party's intention. "That's easy. I can sign autographs for your daughter, take photos with her, and even record a short video," she said with a smile, but then her tone changed. "But there is a condition." "What conditions?" I raised my eyebrows, a little curious. Yangmi touched her belly and said with a pitiful expression, "I want to eat the dishes you cook for dinner." After saying this, she deliberately showed an aggrieved look, and her stomach growled with hunger, making it hard for people to refuse her. I coughed twice, feeling a little embarrassed. Although she spoke so sincerely, I was a cook after all, so I remained calm. "Okay, but I have to pick up my daughter from school first." I agreed, but on the condition that I had to finish my own business first. "That's no problem. Take my nanny car, and we'll go pick up your daughter together," Yangmi said immediately, with some excitement in her eyes. Isn't the pace a bit too fast?" I felt a little helpless. It didn't sound right that we were going to pick up the kids together on our first meeting, and even go to my house. "Fast? I think it's too slow." She licked the corner of her mouth and looked really hungry. I thought to myself that this star is really direct. Finally, I nodded and agreed. "Okay, but I have my own food truck and I have to ride it back by myself." "No problem, let's do it." Yangmi agreed with a smile, looking impatient. At the same time, on the other side, at Mingji International Hotel, Xiao Feifei and her assistant Song Xiaoya were unpacking a pile of delicacies that they had packed back from my stall. "Sister Feifei, I bought all these at the risk of my life," Song Xiaoya boasted and complained. "Fried beef noodles, mung bean shaved ice, crystal cake, and twice-cooked pork are all here." She waved her hands proudly, waiting for Xiao Feifei's praise. Xiao Feifei glanced at her and asked calmly, "Where's the chicken tofu pudding?" Song Xiaoya was stunned for a moment. Then her expression changed instantly, full of surprise. "Ah? How do you know about chicken tofu pudding?" "Stop pretending. You must have bought one and hid it to eat by yourself." Xiao Feifei hit the nail on the head. Song Xiaoya was immediately deflated and obediently took out the chicken tofu pudding she had hidden. Seeing her frustrated look, Xiao Feifei finally showed a rare smile on her face and even said for the first time, "Forget it. I'll allow you to eat with us." "Really?" Song Xiaoya looked incredulous. Xiao Feifei never shared delicious food with anyone before. Soon, the two of them put the delicious food on the table, and the aroma made them instantly forget the argument just now. Fang Xiaoya couldn't wait to pick up a piece of twice-cooked pork, and after taking a bite, she felt like she was floating in the air. This is not twice-cooked pork, it's clearly Tang monk's meat. Every bite was full of satisfaction. Even Xiao Feifei couldn't help but squint her eyes slightly. The aroma of the food seemed to relax her mood. This is the dish Su Yang makes. It is simple, but always makes people feel comfortable from the taste buds to the mood. Sister Feifei, your Su Yang's cooking skills are better than even five-star chefs. Fang Xiaoya couldn't stop eating the twice-cooked pork. Xiao Feifei was enjoying her meal happily, but when she heard the words, your Su Yang, her face instantly turned cold and slightly red. What does your Su Yang mean? She thought to herself, Su Yang and I divorced a long time ago, but she couldn't explain this emotion. Fang Xiaoya, who was about to take a bite of the chicken tofu pudding, noticed her expression and thought she had said something wrong, so she quickly apologized. "Sorry, Sister Feifei, I forgot you were divorced. How about this? I'll go and get Su Yang, and let him cook for you every day, she said jokingly with a sly look in her eyes. Xiao Feifei stared at her, her eyes full of shock and disbelief. "You're my best friend? Is that human language?" Fang Xiaoya stuck out her tongue and smiled playfully. "I'm just kidding, Sister Feifei. Why would I snatch Su Yang from you?" Xiao Feifei snorted coldly, but there was a hint of awkwardness in her tone. "Humph, he and I are already divorced. If you like her, go and chase her yourself." She suddenly picked up a piece of twice-cooked pork and stuffed it into her mouth, as if she was trying hard to hide something, but a subtle hint of unnaturalness flashed across her face. Fang Xiaoya didn't say anything more, but some complicated thoughts arose in her mind. Su Yang is indeed a good man, but can she really do such a thing? While she was daydreaming, she secretly glanced at Xiao Feifei. Fortunately, the latter had been attracted by the chicken tofu pudding in front of her and was completely immersed in the world of food. "This is so delicious." Xiao Feifei couldn't help but sigh after taking a bite. The chicken tofu pudding has a delicate and smooth texture, just like a work of art. At the same time, Fang Xiaoya casually browsed Weibo and suddenly found a piece of news on the hot search list. Yang Mi's video of shooting an advertisement in Shanghai became a hot search. But her eyes widened. Su Yang actually appeared in the video. Moreover, he and Yang Mi were talking and laughing, and they seemed to have a very close relationship. What the hell? How does Su Yang know Yang Mi? Fang Xiaoya was shocked. She scanned the video back and forth, unable to believe her eyes. The video showed that the two of them came out of the lounge together, and their behavior seemed natural and familiar. Fang Xiaoya immediately made many associations. "Sister Feifei, look at this." She hurriedly handed the phone to Xiao Feifei, wanting to see her reaction. When Xiao Feifei took the phone and saw Su Yang and Yang Mi on the screen, she was stunned and froze in place. "What's going on? Why is Su Yang and Yang Mi together? And it seems like they have a special relationship." Although she and Su Yang were already divorced, Xiao Feifei suddenly felt an indescribable sense of unhappiness and panic in her heart. "Sister Feifei, calm down. Maybe Yang Mi just likes the food he cooks." Fang Xiaoya tried to comfort her, but found that Xiao Feifei's face had turned cold. "Why should I be calm? We divorced a long time ago. He can do whatever he wants. What does it have to do with me?" There was suppressed anger in Xiao Feifei's voice. On the other side, Yang Mi was sitting in the luxury nanny car, gritting her teeth and giving the driver a death order. "Don't lose him. If I can't eat Su Yang's delicious food, you can't be my driver anymore." Because I insisted on riding my electric scooter home, she had to ask the driver to follow me, complaining. "How can a star like you ride an electric scooter?" The driver thought it would be an easy task. After all, he was driving a top-notch nanny car. How could a mere three-wheeled vehicle not be able to keep up? But when I drifted away from him with a beautiful intersection, the driver was completely dumbfounded. No way? A three-wheeled vehicle can be driven like this? He had only seen this drifting technique in cartoons, but it was actually demonstrated in real life by an electric tricycle. The driver got anxious and stepped on the accelerator to the bottom. The engine of the nanny car roared, and he swore secretly. "I must not lose to a three-wheeled vehicle." But this is a downtown area after all, with pedestrians, electric vehicles, and battery-powered cars shuttling back and forth, and the nanny car has to brake immediately if it accelerates slightly. In contrast, I was riding my three-wheeled motorcycle flexibly between traffic and pedestrians, as smooth as a fish in water, and my speed was getting faster and faster. The driver had cold sweat on his forehead as he watched the distance between the nanny car and me getting farther and farther, until finally, he couldn't even see its taillights. He thought to himself, "This is outrageous. How can a nanny car be thrown away by a three-wheeled vehicle? Is there any hope for human life?" I looked back and found that the nanny car didn't catch up. I couldn't help but complain in my heart. "My three-wheel motorcycle is so fast, and you can't catch up?" After turning at the intersection, I stopped for a while, waiting for the nanny car to catch up. After a long time, the driver drove up to me, panting. The driver looked like he had lost all hope in life, probably because he had suffered a severe psychological trauma. After all, after driving for so many years, he was actually outflanked by an electric three-wheeled vehicle. Anyone would be shocked. I didn't bother to pay attention to him, and continued driving to Rainbow Kindergarten. When I arrived, it was just after school, and the little guy Su Inua was surrounded by a group of children, like a little princess. "Su Inua, will your father come to the kindergarten tomorrow? Let him make the twice-cooked pork again, it's so delicious," a little kid asked with shining eyes. "Su Inua, these are the snacks my father brought back from Kyoto for you. You are my good friend. I will give you half of the crushed ice." The children vied with each other to show their courtesy. The little guy looked helplessly at the things that everyone handed over, shook his head and said, "I don't want these things." But the other kids wouldn't give in. "If you don't want them, then you don't consider us your friends." Under the coercion of everyone, Sui Nua had to accept it, but her pockets and school bag were already full, and even her little hands could not hold those snacks. By the way, Nuonuo, can your dad come again tomorrow? A little boy asked tentatively. The little guy shook his head and said, Dad is usually very busy. He came today because his lunchbox fell to the ground. Hearing this, the children around him all showed disappointed expressions. Only one boy, named Zhou Kailuan's eyes lit up. Then I'll let Zhang Xingxing knock over your lunchbox again tomorrow. After hearing this, Su Inoa glared at him and snorted coldly. Zhou Kailuan also realized that he had said the wrong thing and quickly waved his hand to explain. I was joking. Teacher Zhang Qian smiled helplessly. These kids could really say anything for food, but she knew that if she dared to deliberately knock over the lunchbox, Su Inua's temper would not be a joke. Okay, kids, go find your parents. They are waiting at the door, Zhang Qian said to the children. But who would have thought that the children would answer in unison? We want to go home with Su Inua. We want to be Su Inua's father's children. As soon as these words fell, a middle-aged man heard them. His face darkened, and he yelled at his son. You little bastard, I raised you to this age, and you still want to go and be someone else's son? The little fat boy was so scared that his face turned pale, and he quickly explained. He is just the dad who cooks. You are still my real dad. But his dad's face was still frighteningly ugly. The other parents who listened were also confused. They didn't know what was wrong with these children. Why did they all say they wanted to go to other people's homes? At this time, a parent couldn't help asking Zhang Qian, Teacher, what's going on? Zhang Qian smiled bitterly and explained. These children are here because the food cooked by Su Inua's father is so delicious. I heard that the food he cooks is better than that cooked by chefs in 5-star hotels. Is it true? Su Inua's father is a chef. The parents nearby started discussing. He's not a chef, he's setting up a stall, another parent added. Everyone was even more shocked when this was said. Setting up a stall? That's amazing. While everyone was talking, I finally drove my 3-wheeled motorcycle to the kindergarten gate. After parking the car, I saw a group of parents making way for me as if they were welcoming a star. Oh, isn't this Su Inua's father? He comes so early today to pick up his daughter from school. He's such a good father, a parent said enthusiastically. I was puzzled as I listened. Don't I pick up Nuonuo at this time every day? Why did he say this morning? I quickened my pace and walked towards the little guy. Before I even entered the door, I heard a group of children shouting in unison. Su Inua's father is here. Uncle, Uncle, I want to go home with you today. Uncle, please make twice-cooked pork for us again today. I frowned, feeling a little nervous. How come these little guys are more excited than my daughter? And they all want to go home with me? Impossible. I can't afford to support so many children. I quickly quickened my pace, wanting to see what Su Inua had done. Fan Xiaoming, you don't even want your mother anymore, right? How dare you say such things? A parent scolded his son angrily. I don't care. I want Su Inua's dad. Mom, why don't you be with Su Inua's dad? Fan Xiaoming's shocking words caused the crowd to burst into laughter. You little rascal. Looks like you're itching again. The child's mother stamped her feet in anger. But these words made the people around them laugh even more. I stood not far away, listening to the conversation between these children and their parents, feeling embarrassed. These kids really dare to say anything. Nuonuo was surrounded by a group of kindergarten children, with his hands full of snacks. He looked helpless and aggrieved, and was squeezed out. Dad, you don't really want to be a father to these kids, do you? Noah asked me with her little face raised, her tone full of worry. I couldn't help but laugh. I squatted down and touched her little head and comforted her softly. Don't worry, Daddy is only Nuonuo's dad, and only you. Really, really? The little guy finally smiled, and then threw himself into my arms, not caring about the snacks in his hand that were scattered all over the floor. Of course, Dad only needs to take care of Nuonuo. Mom and Dad can take care of the other children. I assured her seriously. Hee, I know Daddy is the best. Nuonuo giggled and hugged me happily. The smile on her face was sweeter than any snacks. At this moment, the door of the nanny car opened, and Yangmi got out of the car. Her eyes fell on my father and me, with a hint of tenderness in them. I could sense the envy and nostalgia in her eyes when she looked at us. Maybe she was thinking of her little Nuomi? Yangmi walked towards us step by step. The parents and children around were all stunned. Some even asked subconsciously, she is Yangmi? That's right. How could this big star suddenly appear here? Could it be that her children also go to school here? But thinking about it, it seems impossible. Nuonuo was the first to notice her. She widened her eyes and exclaimed, Yangmi! Wow, it's the living sister Yangmi. She jumped up and down excitedly, grabbing the corner of my clothes. Hearing Nuonuo's voice, all eyes were focused on us. I could feel those burning gazes, and I felt something was wrong. Sure enough, someone in the crowd suddenly said, aren't they a family of 3? As soon as the words fell, the surrounding area exploded. What a joke, Su Yang's ex-wife's surname is Qiao. It can't be Yangmi. Besides, Yangmi just got divorced. Her child is Xiao Nuomi, not Su Inuan. Even though everyone found it absurd, we had to admit that the 3 of us standing together did look a bit like a family. Yangmi is beautiful and has good temperament. I am handsome and reliable, and Nuo is cute and lively. This picture really makes people imagine a lot. Yangmi completely ignored these looks, showing her signature sweet smile, leaned over and said to Nuo, "Your name is Su Inua, right? The little girl is so cute. Come on, Nuo, let's get in the car. I'm going to visit your house today." After saying that, she naturally took Nuo's little hand, turned around, and walked towards the nanny car. Nuo looked confused and quickly turned around to look at me for help. I just smiled helplessly and nodded to tell her not to worry. After getting confirmation from my eyes, Nuo finally felt relieved and happily followed Yangmi towards the nanny car, with some excitement on her face that she couldn't hide. Seeing this, the other children were so envious that their eyes turned red. Suinua is so lucky. He has a dad who can cook, and now he has a superstar mom. The parents also had complicated expressions on their faces and were discussing a lot. No one expected that this ordinary scene of picking up children would become so lively because of Yangmi's appearance. I sighed, dusted myself off, and turned around to get back on the bike. Today, the kindergarten gate was much busier than usual. In the nanny car, Nuo sat obediently next to Yangmi, smelling the faint fragrance in her hair, with a satisfied expression on her little face. Yangmi looked at the cute little girl beside her, her eyes full of love. How can there be such a cute little girl? She couldn't help but pinch Nuo's face. Nuo was amused and giggled. She took out a cookie from her pocket and handed it over. "Sister Yangmi, do you want some cookies?" "Thank you, Nuo." Yangmi took it with a smile, but she didn't expect Nuo to take out all the snacks in his pocket and stuff them into her arms. "Oh, no. I can't eat so much." Yangmi didn't know whether to laugh or cry. The assistant next to her was also amused by the little guy's enthusiasm. Nuo had no sense of restraint in front of the star at all. She chatted with Yangmi in a familiar manner, and soon the car was filled with laughter. At this time, I was riding my 3-wheel motorcycle in front of us, and I slowed down so that the nanny car would not fall behind. After all, Nuo was sitting in the car, and I didn't want anything to happen. In the car, Yangmi couldn't help but pinch Nuo's face again. "Your little face is so smooth, just like jelly. Sister is so envious." Nuo tilted her head and smiled innocently. "Sister Yangmi, you are also very beautiful." Yangmi sighed in her heart. She looked at Nuo's innocent appearance and couldn't help but think of her own lively appearance when she first debuted. No, do you want to be an actor?" Yangmi suddenly asked. Such a beautiful and cute child will definitely be very popular in the entertainment industry. Nuo shook her head and pouted. "No. Dad said there are too many things in the entertainment industry, and he won't let me be an actor." Hearing this, Yangmi immediately understood. Su Yang was worried that Nuo would suffer in the entertainment industry. No wonder this industry was indeed too harsh on newcomers without background. "Then what's the most delicious thing your father cooks?" Yangmi changed the subject, trying to tease the little guy. Nuo thought about it, and his eyes lit up immediately. "Everything my father cooks is delicious. Fried beef noodles, crystal cake, and twice-cooked pork. He said he would make chicken tofu pudding for you guys tonight." When the little guy mentioned eating, his eyes sparkled and his mouth almost watered. Yangmi found it funny, but she couldn't help but look forward to it. I followed them all the way to an old town, and after the nanny car was parked, I let a few people into the yard. The yard was full of flowers and plants, and it looked full of vitality. Yangmi looked around and smiled. I didn't expect this man to be so romantic. She stepped into the house and found that although it was not big, it was kept clean, the items were neatly arranged, and the whole house exuded a warm atmosphere. "Sister Yangmi, please sit down quickly. I'll go get you some water." Nuo was busy and took good care of Yangmi, the assistant and the driver. Even the veteran driver was touched. After all these years of driving for celebrities, this is the first time I've been treated so warmly. After I parked the 3-wheeled motorcycle and walked into the house, I saw Nuo arranging the seats for several people with a serious look on his face, and I couldn't help but smile. This kid really helped me a lot. No, I leave this to you. Dad will go cook." I rubbed her little head and said with a smile, "Don't worry, Dad. I will take good care of Sister Yangmi." Nuo patted his chest seriously, causing Yangmi and the assistant to laugh out loud. After a while, I walked into the kitchen and started to busy myself. I heard Nuo's voice from the room. "Sister Yangmi, come and drink some water." I listened to the little girl's soft voice and felt relieved. She served water and greeted guests like a little adult. She was so sensible. Yangmi looked at Nunua's appearance. Her eyes became softer, and she thought to herself, it would be great if this child was mine. But she secretly glanced at me busy in the kitchen and sighed inwardly. If I really want to take Nuonuo away, Suyang will fight me to the death. Thinking of this, Yangmi couldn't help laughing and lowered her head to continue teasing the little cutie in front of her. Sister Yangmi, have some fruit. Nuonuo ran to Yangmi with a fruit plate, a sweet smile on her face. She was about to grab something, but was stopped by Yangmi. No, don't be so busy. Come and sit for a while. Yangmi smiled and pulled her to her side. Nuonuo sat down playfully, turned on the TV, and turned to ask Yangmi, Sister, do you watch cartoons? Yangmi couldn't help but smile. Of course, Sister will watch cartoons with Nuonuo. Great. Nuonuo turned to the children's channel, which happened to be playing The Adventures of Little Carp. She danced along with the plot while watching. Yangmi looked at the little guy who was watching cartoons seriously and couldn't help but think of herself when she was a child. At that time, she also liked to sit in front of the TV and watch Black Cat Sheriff. While watching the cartoon, Nuonuo explained to Yangmi the story of each character in a very realistic way. Yangmi listened with great interest, and a smile was always on her face. At this moment, I am busy in the kitchen. I have been selling braised pork buns in the morning and setting up the stall at noon. I am very busy, but the income is quite considerable. Watching the twice-cooked pork in my hand gradually taking shape, I took the opportunity to open the system lottery in my mind to see if I could draw something good. Congratulations to the host for winning. A bottle of hand sanitizer, for men only, all-purpose cleaning, can wash hands, hair, and clothes. Congratulations to the host for obtaining. A pack of popping candy, function unknown, please explore on your own. Congratulations to the host for obtaining. Top-notch method for making scrambled eggs with tomatoes. Congratulations to the host for obtaining. Stamina plus 0.1, charm plus 0.1, and the secret recipe of royal chicken wings. I drew 15 times in a row, and although there were some messy things, the recipes of 2 new dishes caught my eye, especially the method of scrambled eggs with tomatoes. I closed my eyes, and the detailed steps of this dish instantly appeared in my mind, with every detail being extremely clear. It turns out that a seemingly simple dish of scrambled eggs with tomatoes actually contains so many details and particularities. There are strict requirements on precise control of heat, proportion of ingredients, and even the size of tomato cubes and speed of scrambling eggs. Sure enough, the simpler a dish seems, the harder it is to cook it to perfection. I couldn't help but sigh and immediately started trying new methods. The tomatoes are cut into even sizes, the egg liquid is adjusted to just the right amount, the oil temperature in the pan is controlled to the optimal level, and the stir-frying speed is as smooth as flowing water. A few minutes later, a plate of colorful and fragrant fried tomato and egg came out of the pot. I took a bite, and the moment I put it in my mouth, my taste buds seemed to be ignited. The smoothness of the egg and the sweet and sour taste of the tomato are intertwined, and the taste explodes in the mouth, like a wonderful symphony, leaving an endless aftertaste. This is the real scrambled eggs with tomatoes, I said to myself with satisfaction, confirming that this dish has reached top standards. Then I started to prepare the second new dish, royal chicken wings. The chicken wings were marinated with wine, and the color was bright red like roses, and the aroma was fragrant. The soul of Sichuan cuisine lies in the combination of seasonings, and guifei chicken wings require a combination of wine aroma and freshness to show its unique flavor. Fortunately, there were all the necessary ingredients in the kitchen, and I quickly mastered the essence of it. At this time, Noonuo came running over. The moment she opened the kitchen door, she wrinkled her nose and immediately shouted excitedly, "Dad, it smells so good. You made something delicious again." I looked at her greedy look and couldn't help but said with a smile, "Wait a little longer, the meal will be ready soon." Nuonuo put his hands behind his back, stood on tiptoe, and secretly peeked into the pot, his eyes full of anticipation and excitement. "Dad, I can't wait." I patted her little head and said, "Okay, go call Sister Yangmi and the others to come over for dinner." Nuonuo nodded, turned around, and ran out, shouting as she ran, "Sister Yangmi, it's time for dinner. Daddy made a lot of delicious food." In the kitchen, the aroma of the chicken wings was already overflowing, and the color of the scrambled eggs with tomatoes was even more appetizing. Looking at the steaming delicacies on the table, I couldn't help but smile. Nuonuo acted like a little adult, inviting Yangmi and others to take their seats. The table was already filled with hot dishes. In addition to the twice-cooked pork, stir-fried beef noodles, and chicken tofu pudding that Yangmi has been talking about, I also made new dishes: scrambled eggs with tomatoes, royal chicken wings, and chilled mung bean smoothie. I originally wanted to steam some more braised pork buns, but seeing that the dishes were already rich enough, I gave up the idea. Yangmi stared at the food on the table. She was so greedy that she swallowed the saliva in her throat unconsciously. Although these dishes do not contain any fancy fish or meat, let alone expensive seafood, the aroma that wafts into your nose has long surpassed that of any high-end restaurant. Yangmi is a person who has seen the world. What kind of high-end cuisine has she not tasted? But today, her stomach has long been captured by the home-cooked dishes in front of her. Every dish exuded an irresistible temptation, and she even began to envy Nono. Why aren't you moving your chopsticks? What are you waiting for? Eat it while it's hot. I walked out of the kitchen with the freshly served rice and saw them sitting around the table in a daze. I couldn't help but feel curious. Hearing what I said, Yangmi immediately picked up her chopsticks without any politeness. She took a bite of the tomato scrambled eggs, and her eyes suddenly lit up. Oh my God, this scrambled egg with tomatoes is so delicious. She praised loudly while chewing the dish, completely losing her celebrity airs. The assistant and driver next to them had no scruples at all. Their chopsticks flew around, and they wolfed down the food, as if they were afraid they would miss out if they were slow. Seeing them enjoying their meal, I felt a little proud. After all, it is the happiest thing to have other people recognize the dishes I cook. Nunuo, have a piece of chicken wing. I picked up a piece of royal chicken wing for the little one. After she took it, she couldn't wait to take a bite. Delicious! Nuo grinned with her mouth full of oil. The chicken wings made by my dad are the best. After saying that, she stood on tiptoe and picked up another piece. Yangmi's situation was not much better. Twice cooked pork, chicken tofu, imperial chicken wings. Every dish made her feel extremely satisfied. This is delicious. That is delicious too. Which one should I eat? Yangmi frowned in confusion, not knowing which dish to pick. Her assistant and driver were not soft-hearted at all and kept picking up the dishes. By the time Yangmi realized what was happening, half of the dishes on the table were gone. Yangmi was so competitive that she started picking up food so fast that her hands were sore, but she just couldn't stop. The assistant and the driver finally gave up, but Yangmi still persisted, her mouth full of meat, and she never stopped picking up dishes. Boss Su, the food you cook is simply amazing. The driver swallowed the last bite of meat, gave a thumbs up, and expressed his admiration repeatedly. I have entertained many celebrities and eaten many sumptuous meals before, but the food on this table is definitely the best I have ever had, the driver praised. Yangmi still had twice cooked pork in her mouth, but she spoke incoherently. I want another bowl of rice. Of course, eat as much as you want. I nodded with a smile, went back to the kitchen, and served him another bowl of rice. Seeing Yangmi's happy smile, the assistant was a little dazed for a moment, as if he hadn't seen her so sincerely happy for a long time. The entertainment industry may seem glamorous to outsiders, but only those in it know how tiring it is. Even eating has become a luxury. The assistant couldn't help but look at me a little longer, muttering in his heart, "What kind of magic does this man have to make Sister Me become like an ordinary girl?" Half an hour later, the food on the table had been cleared away, without even a scrap of food left. Yangmi leaned back in her chair, rubbing her stomach, her face full of satisfaction. This meal is so satisfying. As a celebrity, she is usually too busy to even have a hot meal, let alone feasting without any scruples. Today, for the first time ever, she ate a whole plate of twice-cooked pork. Even her assistant didn't remind her to pay attention to her body management. Maybe she was just too excited about eating. Looking at their happy expressions, I couldn't help but shake my head and smile, but in my heart, I felt that this meal was worth it. Chapter 130, Dad, you have to dress more handsomely. Nuo rubbed her bulging belly and leaned back in her chair, looking extremely satisfied. She ate more than usual, and it was obvious that delicious food smelled especially good when there were many people rushing to eat it. Yangmi's assistant burped and looked up at Yangmi. Sister Me, you actually ate 3 bowls of rice today. You are a big star, your figure. Before she could finish her words, the assistant burped again, which directly blocked the second half of the sentence. Yangmi rolled her eyes and didn't bother to pay attention to her, but she said unyieldingly, "How dare you say that to me? You didn't eat less than me just now." The dishes on the table had been cleared out long ago. Even the bones of the chicken wings had been gnawed clean. Even Nono leaned back in his chair, rubbing his stomach, and said happily, "I'm so full." I sat aside and watched them wolfing down their food, but I didn't eat much myself. Seeing that the dishes had been cleared, I stood up to clean up the dishes, and Yangmi stood up. "I'll help you." I smiled and said, "No need, just enjoy your meal. These things will be cleaned up in a while." After saying that, I skillfully stacked the dishes and turned into the kitchen. Yangmi looked at my back, her eyes suddenly lit up, and she whispered, "This man is so handsome." Her mumbling was heard by Nuo, and the little guy raised his chin proudly. "Of course, my dad is the second most handsome man in the world." "Second? Then who is first?" Yangmi asked curiously. "Of course it's me." Nuo pointed at himself seriously. And before he finished speaking, he burst into laughter, which made Yangmi laugh too. I was busy in the kitchen for a while, and I couldn't help but smile when I heard the laughter outside. When I finished cleaning the kitchen, Yangmi's assistant quietly reminded her, "Sister Mi, it's almost time." Yangmi's smile faded a little. After calming down, she walked to Nu and touched her little head. "Sister is leaving. Remember to be happy every day." Nuonuo was holding the sketchbook I gave her before. There was Yangmi's signature on the sketchbook, and a blessing message, "Baby Nuonuo, be happy every day," was written on it. "Sister Yangmi, please come and play with Nuonuo more often." Nuonuo looked up at her reluctantly. "Okay, sister, got it." Yangmi rubbed Nuonuo's face, took out her cell phone, and took several photos. At the assistant's urging, Yangmi finally got up and exchanged WeChat with me, and sent me the photos she had just taken. Nuonuo was so happy. "Sister Yangmi, can I use my dad's phone to video chat with you in the future?" Yangmi was stunned for a moment, then nodded with a smile. "Of course, you are welcome anytime." After that, she gently pinched Nuonuo's face again. After seeing Yangmi off, the house suddenly became much quieter. However, Nuonuo quickly regained his energy, turned on the TV, and started watching My Fair Princess, singing along. There was a girl. She was a little willful. I leaned on the sofa and watched her sing, and I felt that the little one really inherited her mother's tone deafness. The level of her singing was really hard to describe. Noah noticed my expression and his eyes widened instantly. "Dad, do you think my singing is not good?" I was speechless for a moment. Just as I opened my mouth to explain, the little guy rushed over and pressed his head against my stomach. "You actually despise me. It hurts." "Nuonuo, Daddy didn't say anything." I begged for mercy while dodging, but she wouldn't listen at all and wouldn't stop until I made her suffer. The father and daughter played for a long time, and the whole room was filled with laughter. It was not until Nuonuo went to bed that she suddenly remembered something and spoke. "By the way, Dad, the kindergarten will hold a parent-child activity on Friday." I nodded. "Okay, Dad will go then. I heard that Yaya's chef mom will be here too." "Dad, you must dress up nicely." I was completely confused. What on earth was going on in this little guy's head? Chapter 131, he's just a little older than me. What's the big deal? Nono nodded, her eyes still half open and half closed, leaning on my shoulder, mumbling softly, "Then Dad, please come back soon." I patted her back gently, and after putting her down, I helped her to make the bed again. "Be good, sleep for a while I go shopping, and there will be something delicious when I come back." She nodded obediently, with a reluctant expression on her face. The vegetable market is my first stop every morning. Even though the stalls are not fully stocked, the air is already filled with the aroma of fresh fruits and vegetables and the slightly fishy smell of fish. I walked around the market a few times and picked out the tomatoes, green peppers, pork, etc. I needed for the day, thinking about what new things to prepare for the parent-child activity this Friday. After buying groceries, the kitchen at home is still the battlefield I am most familiar with. Nuonuo woke up quickly, rubbed his eyes, and walked to the kitchen door, holding the door frame with his little hands and watching me busy. "Dad, do you want Nuonuo to help?" I smiled and said, "Little greedy cat, does it count as helping Daddy if you taste the food?" When Nuonuo heard this, she immediately jumped in, pulled a small stool, and sat next to me, staring at the food boiling in the pot. She looked righteous. "Dad, Nuonuo is the best food appraiser." Yes. Our Nuonuo is the most professional." I scooped a little of the freshly fried ketchup, blew it with a small spoon, and handed it to her mouth. "Try it, how is it?" She took a bite, and a bright smile instantly appeared on her face. "Delicious. Sour and sweet, different from yesterday's." "Of course, I'm using a new method this time." I patted her head. "Okay, we can eat when Daddy is done." Breakfast was quickly served on the table. Nuonuo sat opposite her, drinking millet porridge obediently. I watched her eat with satisfaction and felt that life was not that bad. Although I had to get up early every day to set up the stall and work hard, as long as I saw the little one happy, I felt that everything was worth it. After dinner, I sent Nuonuo to kindergarten. On the way, she suddenly asked, "Dad, will Mom really come?" "Well, she said she would come." I nodded with a firm tone. After hearing this, Nuonuo smiled a little and clenched the straps of her school bag unconsciously. I know that she has always hoped to have a complete family like other children. Although the relationship between Xiao Feifei and I cannot be restored, at least I can try to satisfy her wish. When we got to the kindergarten gate, I squatted down, picked her up from the car, and helped her straighten her crooked hairpin. "Okay, come in quickly. Dad will pick you up early after school today." Nuonuo nodded obediently and ran into the kindergarten with small steps. As soon as she entered, several children surrounded her and chattered about something. I didn't hear clearly. I just saw Nuonuo turn around and wave to me, and then she was surrounded by her friends and ran to the playground. I stood there, smiled, and turned back to the electric bike. Thinking about the parent-child activity on Friday, I still had to prepare more things and not let the little one down. After all, I promised her that I would always be the best dad. Chapter 132, Does she really just like the food you cook? After I put the little guy back to bed, I turned around and went out, riding my electric three-wheel motorcycle towards the vegetable market. Along the way, the uncles and aunts who got up early nearby greeted me enthusiastically. Xiao Su, how are you thinking about the thing I mentioned last time? An old lady asked me with a smile. Granddaughter of the old Zhao family. I think you two are quite suitable. The age gap is not a problem. Besides, you look young too. They always like to invite me to blind dates. I shook my head, feeling helpless and amused. To be honest, I know these uncles and aunts are doing this for my own good, thinking that I am alone in raising children and making a living, and that if I could have a wife to share the burden, my life would be easier. However, they don't know that my current pace of life is entirely supported by the energy enhanced by the system, so there is no need to worry at all. Riding through the streets and alleys, I saw an old acquaintance, Uncle Zhang, practicing Tai Chi with another uncle in the square in front of me. That uncle was none other than He Yongnian, an old friend of Qiao Feifei's grandfather. Ever since he had eaten the food I cooked, he couldn't stop praising my cooking skills and even admired me as a person. He once hinted that if he could get me into his company, he would even be willing to marry his daughter to me. Second marriage? In his eyes, it was impossible for an excellent man to get married only once. But I can see that he knows that I like my current lifestyle, and he didn't invite me directly, but was just waiting for the right time. So, he simply moved to this neighborhood and often went to activities with Uncle Zhang, apparently wanted to show more presence. When I passed by on my bike, Uncle Zhang greeted me with a smile. Xiao Su, you got up early. Before I could say anything, He Yongnian next to me said, Why are you only saying hello to Lao Zhang? Don't you remember me? I went to your place to buy fried beef noodles yesterday. I just remembered and said with a smile. No wonder you look familiar. He said, Just call me Lao He from now on. I replied, Then I'll call you Uncle He, just like Uncle Zhang. He Yongnian was grinning from ear to ear and seemed very happy that he was on the same level as Uncle Zhang. He continued to chat with me. Xiao Su, you are too diligent. You set up the stall so early. I replied, I'm going to the market to buy ingredients now. I'll take Noonyuo to kindergarten later. I won't open the stall until around 8 o'clock. You and Uncle Zhang can come together then. I'll save some fried beef noodles and crystal cake for you. Uncle Zhang was overjoyed when he heard this, and his smile was as bright as a chrysanthemum. He glanced at He Yongnian with a proud look, and his meaning was very clear. See, Xiao Su has me in his heart, so there is no hope for your daughter. Uncle Zhang walked up to me and patted my shoulder. Xiao Su, I have something to tell you. I smiled and replied, Uncle Zhang, go ahead. Unexpectedly, he asked, Can you give me an autograph? I was immediately confused. Autograph? Uncle Zhang, I'm not a big star. Why should I sign for you? He took out his phone, opened Douyin, and showed me a video. In the video, there was a scene of Yang Mi and I at the commercial site, and we went to Noonyuo's kindergarten together. Uncle Zhang smiled and asked, Tell me, is this Noonyuo's stepmother? I replied with a smile. Uncle Zhang, don't be ridiculous. Yang Mi just likes the food I cook. But Uncle Zhang insisted. Really, she just likes the food? Not anything else? His words were so profound that even He Yongnian couldn't help laughing. What the hell is going on? Are you afraid that the food I cook will eat up Yang Mi's appetite? He Yongnian also interrupted. Uncle Zhang, don't talk nonsense. Yang Mi simply likes Xiao Su's cooking skills. Don't think too much about it. Uncle Zhang nodded, reluctantly believing it. However, he obviously felt the same as He Yongnian, thinking that if I didn't manage the relationship well, someone else might snatch it away. The two of them were in harmony on the surface, but each of them had his own plans in mind. What impressed me most was their persistence and hard work. Unfortunately, they didn't know that I don't like being interfered with. Uncle Zhang also understood it quite well. Not to mention their granddaughter and daughter. Even the eldest daughter of the Qiao family, who was excellent in figure, appearance, and wealth, did not hesitate to divorce me. Chapter 133. Boss Su, when are you going to open your stall? My grandson misses your fried beef noodles every day, an old lady shouted to me. Yesterday, Tycoon Square was packed with people, just like a celebrity concert, she continued, with an envious look on her face. After saying goodbye to Old Man Zhang and He Yongnian, I rode my three-wheel motorcycle to the entrance of the alley. On the way, there were quite a few enthusiastic old men and women, and I greeted them one by one with a smile. Finally, I got on the road and headed straight to the market. After half an hour of shopping, I bought enough food for the day, including rice noodles, eggs, pork, etc. At the stalls selling disposable lunch boxes, I directly ordered more than 3,000 meal boxes, and the boss was grinning from ear to ear. His good business was all due to the popularity of my stall. The boss's wife came out from the inner room and looked at me with envy, muttering, "More than 3,000 lunch boxes. This street stall business is too profitable." "How much do you think Mr. Su makes in a day?" she asked the boss. The boss said with emotion, "It's probably equivalent to our monthly income in a day." The boss's wife was more and more excited. "How about I set up a street stall?" The boss was stunned, then waved his hand and said, "Don't worry about it. Do you have the skills of Boss Su? When you sold pancakes before, you only sold 2 in 3 days, and one of them was sold to our father." The boss's words left her speechless, and she could only sigh. After I paid, I agreed with the boss to deliver the lunchbox to my home, and then I continued shopping and bought some seasonings. This trip cost more than 2,000 yuan. Although the cost is not low, my requirement is freshness. Meat and vegetables are never left overnight, and they are bought fresh every morning. On the way home on my 3-wheel motorcycle, I thought about today's menu. The tomato scrambled eggs I just learned were obviously not suitable for setting up a stall, as the quantity was too large and it would be easy to get out of control. The royal chicken wings are a good choice and can be sold as a snack in the evening, but today's breakfast stall is still the same: fried beef noodles and crystal cake. After arriving home, I parked the car skillfully and went into the kitchen to cook 2 bowls of noodles, one for me and one for the little one, Nuonuo. I also added an egg to the noodles. While slurping the noodles, Nuonuo gave a thumbs up and said, "Dad, your cooking skills are amazing." She looked very satisfied as she ate. "Dad, I had a dream last night," Nono said excitedly. "I dreamed that our house was made entirely of ice cream, and even the tables and chairs were made of chocolate." I smiled and said, "Ice cream house? Aren't you cold?" Nuonuo immediately frowned and said, "Dad, I was talking about the happiness in my dream. Why are you asking such a question?" "But if the house is made of ice cream, won't you catch a cold? If you are sick, you will have to get injections and take medicine." I teased her jokingly. Nuonuo frowned instantly. "I have to get an injection for a cold, and the injection hurts. I don't want the ice cream house anymore." Then she changed the subject and said, "But you can still keep the chocolate table." Seeing her mischievous look, I couldn't help but touch her little head and walked into the kitchen to wash the dishes with a smile. When I was done, Nuonuo had already changed her clothes. As usual, I drove her to the kindergarten. As soon as the car stopped, a group of children immediately surrounded us and greeted me and Nuonuo. "Uncle, we saw you and Yangmi together yesterday. Are you friends?" a child asked me with shining eyes. "Sui Nua, is Sister Yangmi's car very luxurious? What did you do with Yangmi yesterday?" The children asked Nuno all at once. One child even asked mysteriously, "No, my dad said he likes Yangmi very much. Can you help me get an autograph?" Looking at this group of enthusiastic little guys, I couldn't help laughing, and Nono was like a little star, proudly accepting all questions. Chapter 134. Not to mention the children, even many parents came over and asked expectantly, "Boss Su, are you related to Yangmi? Can you help me get an autograph? Our whole family is her fan." Their enthusiasm made me feel a little nervous, so I had to bite the bullet and explain, "We are not close friends. She just comes to eat the food I cook occasionally." However, the little guy is also her fan, so her autograph can only be kept for myself. I added with a smile, trying to reject their request gently. But these words did not disappoint them, but made everyone even more excited. Sure enough, Boss Su and Yangmi have a special relationship. They have captured the stomach of a big star with delicious food. Nono's dad, you are so amazing. You can make delicious food that even celebrities like. The children praised me in unison, their eyes full of envy. "Next time Yangmi comes, can you bring her to the kindergarten to play?" a child asked excitedly. I could only smile and nod perfunctorily. "If there is a chance, yes." Finally, after sending Nuonuo to the kindergarten gate, I told her, "Go to school and listen to the teacher." The little girl waved her hand and replied, "Dad, don't work too hard." Watching her run into the kindergarten, I was about to leave, but the other children waved and shouted, "Uncle Su, don't be too tired. Remember to come and play often." I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Some onlookers watching this scene couldn't help but comment, "This young man is really amazing. His whole life is just a kindergarten, so awesome." I rode my tricycle away and arrived at Huaqiao Primary School in a blink of an eye. There was already a queue at the school gate, with parents and students waiting for me to set up a stall. As soon as the stall was set up, there were already several more lines behind it. The owner of the breakfast stall next to him looked at the scene with envy in his eyes, even a little dazed. A pancake vendor was staring at my stall and burned his pancake. The customer took one look at the burnt pancake, put it down, and ran to my line. The stall owner was still confused. "What? The pancake is burnt, and you're still so happy?" The other stall owners could only envy, but no one dared to say anything. At this time, Hyunyan also came. He has been queuing up at my stall almost every day recently. After eating my food, any other food tastes like chewing wax in his mouth. He bought fried beef noodles, green bean shaved ice, and braised pork buns, and left with a big bag of delicious food, feeling very satisfied. Uncle Zhang, who had just arrived, saw him and was furious. We agreed to queue together. Why did you run away first? He Yongyin took a bite of the braised pork bun. The aroma overflowed, and the juice flowed out from the corners of his mouth. Uncle Zhang was so greedy that he wanted to grab it directly, but He Yongyin was very alert and ran away. Uncle Zhang was so angry that he muttered while waiting in line. When Su Yang becomes my son-in-law, he will only cook for me. You, He Yongyin, will never be able to taste his cooking again in this life. On the other side, He Yongyin ran to the corner of the street and got into a luxury Porsche. He handed a braised pork bun to the beauty in the driver's seat and said, "Chincy, try this." Chincy frowned, looking at the braised pork bun handed over by his father with some resistance. "Dad, I don't eat things from the street stalls. They are not clean." He Yongyin became serious. "Why? You don't even give me this face." Chincy had no choice but to take the braised pork bun and took a careful bite. The moment the braised meat bun entered her mouth, the rich sauce burst in her mouth. The meaty aroma and the slightly sweet sauce blended perfectly, stimulating her taste buds. Her eyes widened instantly. "This is too delicious." Chincy looked at the braised pork bun in his hand in disbelief, too surprised to speak. Chapter 135. I could hardly believe that the braised pork bun in my hand was so delicious. After a few bites, the fist-sized braised pork bun was eaten up without even a trace of residue left. If my dad hadn't been in the car, I would have even licked the sauce off my fingers. It tasted so good. Seeing my satisfied face, He Yongyin showed a proud smile and took out the fried beef noodles and mung bean shaved ice. "Come on, try this." I had no intention of refusing and started eating right away. Soon, my father and I finished 2 servings of fried beef noodles, 2 cups of green bean shaved ice, and 6 braised pork buns. After finishing the meal, I breathed a sigh of relief. This breakfast is so delicious. I haven't eaten so much in the morning for a long time. I seldom eat breakfast, mainly to lose weight, but there are reasons for that. To be honest, I have to blame my mom for this. Her talent for cooking is beyond words. My mother likes to learn how to cook by watching chef videos on TikTok, but every time she learns something that makes people want to run away, especially since she is particularly obsessed with an account called Uncle You. My dad's phobia of dark cuisine was probably cured by my mom. No wonder he moved out recently and said he did it to exercise. It's really laughable. How is it? Is it delicious? My dad smiled proudly, as if he had made these delicacies himself. I licked my lips and nodded. It's really delicious. This level of breakfast is just braised pork buns and fried beef noodles, but the taste is far better than many Michelin restaurants I have eaten in. I can't help but admire it. I originally wanted to bring one for my mother, but after thinking it over, I decided not to. Forget it. She definitely can't handle this kind of stimulation. He Yongyin nodded in agreement. Yes, your mother even enjoys her own dark cuisine. I'm afraid it would be too stimulating to bring this back. At this time, he took out 2 boxes of crystal cakes from the bag. "Here, try this." I begged for this early in the morning. I looked at this crystal clear little pastry with curiosity. Dad opened the box and handed me a piece. I took it in my hand and felt that the pastry was exquisite in shape and had a faint fragrance. After taking a bite, the soft, glutinous, and cool taste immediately explodes on the tip of your tongue. It is sweet but not greasy, fragrant but not vulgar, and it is simply irresistible. This is so delicious. I looked at the crystal cake in my hand in surprise. This tastes better than Michelin desserts. Who made this? I couldn't help but guess. Is it the new dim sum chef you hired? My dad then smiled like a fox. What dim sum chef? It was sold at the stall in front of the school. In front of the school? I frowned. How is that possible? It's okay for a big hotel to hold an event, but how can a street stall do this? I was skeptical of my dad's answer, but the aroma and taste made it impossible for me to refute it. Confused, I started my Porsche and drove directly to the school gate to see what was going on. As soon as I turned the corner, I was stunned by the scene in front of me. There was a long line at the door. A quick glance showed that there were at least 200 people in the line. So many people? Don't they have to go to school or work? I looked incredulous. Today is clearly a working day. Why are all these people lining up? What's even more outrageous is that there are not only parents and students in the line, but even the school guards are queuing up with lunch boxes in their hands. I looked at my dad, and he said with a smug look on his face, "Now you know how hard it is for me to queue up?" This scene left me speechless. Obviously, someone like me who just found out about the existence of this stall will definitely not be able to eat it today. If my dad hadn't intervened in advance, I would never have been able to eat these delicacies. The long queue even blocked the school gate. The security guard in line saw my car parked at the gate and shouted, "No parking at the school gate. Get out of here." I could only drive forward helplessly, but I was still confused. What kind of chef would set up a stall in front of a school and attract so many crazy fans? After finding a place to park the car, I rubbed my temples and recalled everything that had just happened. This stall owner was definitely not an ordinary person. Chapter 136. Are you arranging a blind date for me? What chef? Hyunyin asked as if he knew the answer, but still wanted to know the answer. The stall owner is a young guy. Young man? Hichinsi was a little surprised, with doubt in his tone. That's impossible. How is that impossible? I'll show you a photo. After Hyunyin finished speaking, he quickly took out his cell phone. In his mobile phone were the photos of Soo-young that he had prepared long ago. Everything went well. In the mobile phone photo, Soo-young was wearing a white shirt with a gentle smile on his face and was concentrating on cooking delicious food. Looking at his serious expression, it is really hard not to be moved. Not to mention Hichinsi. Even Hyunyin almost became gay. Is this the stall owner? Of course, can I lie to you? Hichinsi hesitated. What? Hyunyin was eagerly waiting for Hichinsi to express himself. Quite handsome, Hichinsi said and smiled. In an instant, Hichinsi discovered something was wrong. Just when he said that Soo-young in the photo was very handsome, Hyunyin couldn't suppress the smile on his face. Cece, you just said this guy is handsome, right? Hichinsi was not used to hearing Hyunyin suddenly calling her like this for no reason. Dad, why did you suddenly call me like that? I'm a little scared. We are all family. What are you afraid of? Can I eat you? Under Hyunyin's gaze, Hichinsi nodded. The way Hyunyin looked at him was no different from as if he wanted to eat him alive. It's like this. Upon seeing this, Hyunyin stopped pretending and simply came clean. I want this young man to become a member of our family. Question mark. Hichinsi was still a little confused. Why, Dad, do you like him? I'm old. What's the point of me liking him? Hyunyin shook his head, then looked at Hichinsi firmly. It's you. I wanted to be the son-in-law of our family. There was such shock in Hichinsi's pupils that his entire body suddenly shut down. Just now, I almost stepped on the accelerator. What? Lao-hee, please explain yourself clearly. I just said he was really handsome, but I didn't say I wanted to marry him. You can't sell your daughter, just for a little delicious food. After hearing what his daughter Hichinsi said, Hyunyin was not anxious, but the smile on his face became even brighter. Don't you understand your own daughter? Although she sounded anxious, there was no clear tone of rejection in her words. In the past, when a blind date was arranged for her, I would have been kicked off the bus long ago. Now we can only breathe in exhaust gas on the road. How can we sit in a car like this? There is hope. There is a big hope. How could I sell my sweet daughter? Don't worry. I won't force you. I've said it before. It's up to you. But you can also slowly get to know this guy. At least come and have breakfast every day, so I can rest assured about your health, right? Hyunyin couldn't suppress his ecstasy. He was not in a hurry, since the boy's surname Sue had divorced the girl from the Chow family anyway. I've already inquired about it, and the two of them have completely broken up. As long as he follows his plan, it is only a matter of time before his daughter and Soo-young are together. By then, I will make that old man Xiao Wenshan regret it deeply. After all these years, he can finally hold his head high. When he thought of this, Hyunyin became even happier and more excited. Hichinsi was silent for a moment. To be honest about the man in the photo, at first glance, she didn't seem to be disgusted at all, especially when you eat the delicious food made by the other person. She could imagine that a person who could make delicious food that made other people feel happy and satisfied when eating, it must be a good person. If I could be friends with him, it would be nice. However, Hichinsi looked at his old father. Hyunyin, Hyunyin, what evil has befallen you? At the beginning, there were so many young talents. Let's not talk about whether Hichinsi was willing or not. Even Hyunyin firmly disagreed. There's no one who catches his eye. But what about now? Hyunyin, a street vendor, looked like he was possessed by a ghost. Even though the stock market has soared, I have never seen Hyunyin so happy. The wrinkles at the corners of his mouth could no longer be tightened. Wasn't his intention too obvious? Just as Hichinsi was thinking in his mind, Hyunyin beside him was already happily eating piece after piece of crystal cake. Lao Hiyu. After discovering this, Hichinsi became a little impatient. What she couldn't accept more than letting her and Soo-young try to be friends and date was that Hyunyin was actually eating crystal cake alone. There were clearly 2 boxes, but he secretly kept one for himself. Now, even the box I opened for myself is eaten piece by piece. Aren't we supposed to be talking about serious matters? Why did you start eating secretly? By the time I realized what was happening, there was only 1 piece of crystal cake left. Hichinsi didn't bother to be polite with Lao-hee. He was quick to get the last piece of crystal cake. Seeing Hyunyin's lips moving slightly, It seemed that he wanted to use some verbal tactics. He chintzy stuffed the crystal cake into his mouth without saying a word. Satisfaction, the ultimate enjoyment of satisfaction. Lao He, how about we eat the remaining box of crystal cake as well? What do you mean there's only one box left? I left that for your mom. He chintzy rolled his eyes at Yongyan and ruthlessly exposed him. Stop pretending. You obviously want to eat it secretly by yourself. Isn't that right? Lao He Yongyan was sweating profusely and looked a little nervous. He unconsciously pulled the remaining box of crystal cake in the bag behind him, not giving Chintzy any chance to take advantage of it. What do you mean, Lao He? You are becoming more and more disrespectful. TSK Tisk. Seeing Yongyan puffing his beard and glaring, Chintzy laughed instead. When she smiles, two dimples appear, making her look both pretty and extremely cute. Even Yongyan secretly praised him in his heart. After all, she is my family's daughter, so she inherited excellent genes. Chintzy muttered to himself, the excellent genes of the old family? How dare you say that with your old face? Do you really think I haven't seen photos of you when you were young? Anyway, Yongyan said evasively, one hand protecting the bag behind him. You can think about what I just said. What's the meaning? You are not young anymore. Su-Yang is about the same age. Are you setting me up on a blind date? I guess so. It's just a resemblance. Whether you kiss or not is up to you young people. Chapter 137, isn't he so young? It seems like he is very old, but I still hope you can think about it more. This guy is really nice. Yongyan thought about it and couldn't help but add a few more words. It was rare for Chintzy to see that his father was so persistent. Without further ado, he spoke. Okay, I'll try my best. Then you give me his WeChat first, and I'll pretend to be his customer and chat with him. No WeChat. Yongyan shook his head. What about the phone? No phone either. Chintzy was a little confused. There was nothing going on, and you wanted me to go on a blind date with him? Isn't this selling your daughter? Chintzy was speechless. If the other person was not indeed her father, she would have kicked him and drove away. Lowy, what on earth are you? What's the meaning? Chintzy turned around and looked seriously at Yongyan, who was sitting in the back row. Yongyan, on the other hand, looked like a dead pig that was not afraid of boiling water, and spoke in a very calm tone. Actually, I'm not that familiar with him. Not familiar? Chintzy just felt a slight headache. No, if you don't know each other, why would you randomly matchmake? Are you in a hurry to have a grandchild? Chintzy even felt that it was a bit too outrageous. What on earth happened to Yongyan? Have you taken the drug? She suddenly had a bad feeling and spoke tentatively. Could it be that, old he? You don't mean to? Let me take the initiative to chase him? Yongyan smiled when he heard this, a fatherly smile, and nodded without any hesitation. When a girl chases a boy, it's easy. Thinking back then, your mother was so proactive towards me. Come on, daughter. I'm rooting for you. At the entrance of Huaqiao Primary School, Su-Yang was still setting up his stall. There were always long queues of customers. What is very rare is that today another good friend of Uncle Zhang, Old Man Zhou, came. He was the former state banquet chef who had gone to Su Yang's yard with Uncle Zhang to taste the food he cooked. Ever since he tasted the delicious food made by Su Yang, Uncle Zhou started to miss it every day. Naturally, he had eaten a lot of delicious food in his life. Plus, he's a top chef himself. But I spent several days at home, but I couldn't make the taste that I remembered. It seems that only Su Yang can make that kind of taste. Look, he finally gave up and chose to queue up to eat the delicious food made by Su Yang. He even brought a little grandson who was about 7 years old. If the other passersby in the queue knew about this, wouldn't they be surprised again? The dignified state banquet chef is actually a fan of Su Yang's food. It's absolutely outrageous. Seeing the customers in the queue in front of them moving away with their delicious food in their hands, it would soon be the turn of Old Man Zhou and his grandson. Grandpa, is the food here really delicious? Is there a place that tastes better than what Grandpa makes? The little grandson looks chubby and strong, and it's obvious that he eats a lot of good food. He continued to move forward with the team and finally saw the stall owner. Although he looks very young, he doesn't look like he has been cooking for many years. Although the little boy is not very old, he knows very well that his grandfather's chef friends, and even the apprentices they taught, are all very old. How can there be someone as young as Su Yang? Isn't that what's written in novels? The older you get, the more experienced you become, and the more powerful you become. To be honest, the little boy still found it a little unconvincing. I just thought that Grandpa wanted him to go out for a walk, and it was just an excuse to lose weight. You'll know whether it tastes good or not after you eat it. Old Zhou smiled mysteriously and just asked his grandson to wait and see. At this moment, his attention was all focused on Su Yang. Heat the pan with oil, flip the pan, and stir the spoon. Su Yang's movements in stir-frying beef noodles are as smooth as ever. It even looks like a piece of art being performed. It's so beautiful. Old Joe knew very well that this was because Su Yang's understanding of fried beef noodles had reached perfection. If we exaggerate, this thing can be called Chaonyo River Field. Simply put, when it comes to stir-fried beef noodles, Su Yang has reached an impeccable level. Even every time he flipped the wok and took the food out of the pot was a textbook-level demonstration. Not to mention those who have just started learning cooking. Even Old Man Joe's apprentices can film it and learn Su Yang's techniques frame by frame. Don't mention it. As soon as Old Man Joe thought of this, someone next to him took out his mobile phone and started recording. Boss Su, watching you stir-fry beef noodles is simply a feast for the eyes. I want to take a video and take it back to study. Is that okay? Every time Su Yang encounters such a situation, he is always very generous. This wasn't the first time either. He always had a faint smile on his face. Whatever, as long as you don't disturb the customers in line. Thank you, Boss Su. The man who got the permission was very happy. If he could learn 80% of Su Yang's cooking skills. No, if it's half. Half is a bit exaggerated. Maybe 30%. As long as he gets 30%, he will definitely be able to join the Lin catering group. The treatment for chefs there is quite high. Also, I heard that the daughter of the Lin group is also particularly fond of delicious food. If it were me, wouldn't I marry a beautiful, wealthy woman, become a CEO, and reach the pinnacle of life? Seeing the man grinning foolishly, the ant next to him mercilessly poured a basin of cold water on him. I don't know what you are so happy about. You don't think taking a video would be useful, do you? If Boss Su dares to let you take a photo, he is sure you will not be able to learn it. Annie, I've tried it before. The steps are the same, but the taste is totally different. After hearing what the ant said, many people in the crowd nodded in agreement. It turns out that she was not the only one who had done this. Everyone had tried it privately. But the result is that, without exception, all of them failed. Obviously the steps are all the same, but I just can't recreate this delicious taste. Cooking is not that simple. You can't succeed overnight. The reason why Boss Su's cooking is so delicious is that he has a good grasp of the heat and his skill in flipping the wok every time. In the crowd, Old Joe finally couldn't help but speak. Although I don't know that Lao Zhou was once a state banquet chef, I feel that what he said seems to make sense. Nothing can be accomplished overnight. Only continuous efforts and accumulated experience can achieve success. This is true. But everyone looked at Su Yang and recalled some of the past. Damn, isn't he this young? It's as if Su Yang has been cooking for decades. Chapter 138, it's okay. I will cooperate with your investigation. Little girl, are you taking a picture of Boss Su cooking? Or are you taking a picture of Boss Su? The camera is almost sticking to each other's faces. The man in the queue started to joke when he saw this. The girl holding the phone blushed suddenly. She was filming Boss Su cooking and took a photo of Boss Su at the same time, but how did she get discovered? Seeing that all the customers in the queue were looking at her, the girl became very shy. In fact, she is not the only one who likes Boss Su. Fortunately, she was much better and even directly expressed her desire to date Su Yang. But they were all rejected by Su Yang. Women? They will only affect the taste of my cooking. Just when everyone was happily joking with each other, an old man got the fried beef noodles and braised pork buns and left with a strange look on his face. He walked all the way without stopping until he arrived at the door of the police station in the nearby area. He couldn't resist the temptation when he smelled the tempting aroma of the fried beef noodles in his hand. Just squat at the door and show off your wealth. He even didn't miss out on the braised pork buns, eating one in almost 3 bites. Only after he finished eating everything did the old man look very satisfied. He just wiped his mouth and talked to himself. It can't be wrong. Absolutely can't be wrong. Then he walked into the police station with a determined look in his eyes. The police officer inside thought that something had happened to the old man and asked if he needed any help. I'd like you to check out a stall in front of Huaqiao Primary School. What stall? The police officer in charge of reception raised his head and took a big sip of the mung bean shaved ice. When the old man saw it, he felt half disappointed. Isn't this the mung bean shaved ice sold at Boss Su's stall? Wait and look around again. Braised pork buns, fried beef noodles. Several policemen are having breakfast. The old man thought that the fragrance in the air came from when he was eating just now. Only then did I realize that the police officers inside were also eating the breakfast made by Boss Su. The old man gritted his teeth and thought, since it has come to this, it's no big deal. I want to report it. Report that breakfast stands selling fried beef noodles. After hearing the old man's words, the police officers in the room looked at each other, and then looked at the fried beef noodles or braised pork buns in their hands. What? Is there something wrong with this early? If there is, it's only a little. Even so, it's too damn hard to queue up. Even if you are a police officer, you don't have any advantages. In order not to disturb others, you can only queue up in plain clothes every day. It's really too troublesome. However, out of professional ethics, they still let the old man talk about the problem he felt first. I suspect the fried beef noodles, the braised pork buns, and the green bean shaved ice were all adulterated. The old man suddenly lowered his voice and spoke mysteriously, making it seem like it was real. Is there something mixed in? The police officer looked confused. Yes, officer, I have lived for so many years. I have tasted a lot of delicious food, but I guess I have eaten a lot, right? But no food is as addictive as that fried beef noodle stall. The old man's words were passionate and well-reasoned. Even the policeman next to him couldn't help but nodded, took another bite of the fried beef noodles, and sipped the mung bean shaved ice. You know what, it's really addictive and I can't stop at all. I seriously suspect he mixed poppy powder in it. Hasn't this happened before? There was a report in the news that a spicy hot pot restaurant used this as a means to attract customers. After the old man finished speaking, he stared at the police officer who was taking notes in front of him with an extremely serious expression. The police were also helpless. I'm afraid this old man is also selling breakfast? Come to think of it, ever since Su Yang started selling breakfast at the stall in front of the school. Not to mention the other stall owners in front of the school were affected. Even the nearby breakfast shops suffered a big blow. Every morning, everyone flocked to Su Yang to line up. As for the others, there is no business at all. I can only wait until Su Yang has sold out before I can benefit from the customer flow. It's really too miserable. However, the police here don't really believe it. After all, they eat Boss Su's breakfast every day. Is there a problem? How could I not know? However, since someone has reported it according to the rules, we must go to the scene to investigate. Master, what you said makes sense. Who is willing to investigate this case? Silence. Silence is the Cambridge in the house. No one was willing to go. After all, everyone believes in Boss Su, and besides, isn't this just looking for trouble? If I were recognized by Boss Su, I would be embarrassed to buy breakfast there in the future. Thinking of this, everyone naturally became unwilling. Seeing this, the chief of the police station had no choice but to decide to accompany the old man personally. Driving the police car, we soon arrived at the elementary school gate. The urban management is here? Aren't stalls allowed here? What urban management? This is a police car from the police station. It's a formal police car. Why does the person who got off the car look familiar? Isn't this the chief of the police station? Why is he here? What's going on? Who did Boss Su offend? I don't know. Let's see what happens. Under the curious and puzzled gazes of the crowd, the director brought the old man to Su Yang's stall. At this moment, Su Yang had no idea of this. He was still packing fried beef noodles and braised pork buns for customers. After scanning the code, the customer took the packaged food from Su Yang. Coincidentally, the director also brought the old man to Su Yang. Su Yang raised his head, saw the director, and spoke with a smile. Today I also want one more portion of fried beef noodles and 3 portions of braised pork. Ahem. Before Su Yang could finish his words, the director interrupted him with a cough. At this moment, Su Yang realized something was wrong. Why is the director here in uniform today? He looks a little different than usual, a little serious today. Su Yang was naturally no stranger to the chief of this police station. I come here to buy breakfast every day, and it's always the same few. As for his identity as the director, Su Yang didn't care at all, just regarded him as an ordinary diner. Comrade, I'm the police officer in charge of this area. We have received a report that the food you cook may have safety risks. Please cooperate with our investigation. The director was also helpless, but he had no choice but to speak to Su Yang. I prayed silently in my heart, Boss Su, please don't be angry. I don't have any other choice. Everything is done in accordance with rules and regulations. After hearing this, Su Yang looked at the old man with a bad look following behind the director and instantly understood everything. Reporting by peers, this kind of thing is common for people doing business. He smiled indifferently, without any dissatisfaction. It's okay. I'll cooperate with your investigation. Chapter 139. No. Who is so stupid as to report Boss Su? No way. Is there something wrong with Boss Su's food? How is that possible? Boss Su's food truck is the cleanest I've ever seen. It's totally safe to feed my kids. That's right, police comrade. You can't arrest people randomly. How could Boss Su have a problem? The onlookers took the initiative to stand up and speak for Su Yang. Even the director was a little troubled. He also believed Su Yang, but if someone reported him, he had to accept investigation. That was the rule. In the end, he could only look at the old man with a very unhappy expression. The old man turned his head away and didn't even dare to look at her. Su Yang looked at Zhao. He knew that there was nothing wrong with the food he cooked. But why did this old man report himself? Can you please show me your ID card? A health certificate is also required. Su Yang nodded and took out all the documents the other party asked for. Because it is a street stall, it does not require a food business license. The director looked carefully and confirmed that there was no problem with Su Yang's 2 documents. Mr. Su, what are the main things you sell at your stall? You come here to buy every day, and you ask me? Seeing Su Yang's puzzled expression, the director could only bite the bullet and continue. Please cooperate with our investigation. We sell fried beef noodles, braised pork buns, green bean shaved ice, and occasionally crystal cakes. Okay, this is all recorded. This was the first time that the police station chief was so nervous, which was completely different from Su Yang's calm demeanor. It seemed as if Su Yang was the policeman who came to investigate food safety. Mr. Su, can I take the remaining food back for investigation and testing? No problem. The director breathed a sigh of relief and took some of the fried beef noodles, braised pork buns, and mung bean shaved ice and packed them up. We will test these things and get the results as soon as possible. Mr. Su, if you are not busy here, would it be convenient for you to come back to the police station with us? Su Yang nodded and did not refuse. Although this matter was ridiculous, he didn't know what to say when he saw that the director was sweating profusely and his face was full of embarrassment. It's true that you can't blame others for this. After all, if they didn't investigate after receiving the report, and if something went wrong afterwards, they would be held responsible. Su Yang thought about it and decided that this was a good idea. By proving today that there was no problem with his food, he could save himself a lot of trouble in the future. Can I come along on my own food truck? Certainly. After saying this, the director got into the police car and led the way. Su Yang followed behind on his electric 3-wheeled motorcycle. However, even Su Yang himself did not expect that as soon as he arrived at the police station, a large group of people followed him. These people are all customers who come to Su Yang's stall to buy breakfast. What are you guys doing here? The director, who had just got out of the police car, was a little confused. There were so many people that they blocked the police station, just like the Hong Kong Young and Dangerous in the 1990s, when the boss went to the police station and his younger brothers were all outside the door. We trust Boss Su. There can't be anything wrong with the food he makes. Yes, we are keeping an eye on you. If you use any shady tricks, no one will be able to eat the delicious food made by Boss Su anymore. That's right, we're not going anywhere. We're just watching you. The director was speechless, but he didn't want to offend the public. And to be honest, he believed more than anyone else that there was nothing wrong with Su Yang's food. What if there is a problem? Not to mention them, other comrades in the police station also buy breakfast from Su Yang every day. Even though he is the director here, he is under a lot of pressure. We'll just wait here for the results. I haven't even had the food that Boss Su made today, so I'm not going anywhere. Boss Su, if such a clean stall has problems, are other breakfast stalls still good? In the police station, after hearing the noise, all the police officers inside came out. Seeing such a big scene outside, those who didn't know would think that some local boss had been captured. Director, what's going on? What? The director had a hard time expressing his difficulties, and after he explained it to everyone, they finally understood. They all secretly thanked their luck that they did not take on such a thankless job. Everyone couldn't help but look at the director, and couldn't help but say in their hearts, "See, I told you not to go, but now there are so many people surrounding the police station. How will this end? And if you offend Boss Su, you won't be able to have breakfast anymore. What's the point of living like this? How about restarting?" The director gritted his teeth and said nothing. Now that we have decided to handle things impartially, there is only one way to go. The laboratory was called to take the food prepared by Su Yang for testing. In the hall, Su Yang was sitting there as if nothing had happened. Sitting opposite him was the old man who had reported the incident. He looked at Su Yang for a long time and couldn't help but speak. "Young man, there is definitely something wrong with your fried noodles. It's addictive. I've lived for so long that I'm tired of even the food my wife cooks, but I never get tired of the food you cook. There's a problem, definitely a problem. Don't blame me, an old man. This is all for everyone's safety." Su Yang was speechless after hearing this and was too lazy to pay any attention to him. At this moment, at the door of the police station, a large number of people are still waiting for news. Many of them were waiting to eat the breakfast made by Su Yang. Another group of people are Su Yang's fanatical fans. I absolutely don't believe that there would be any problem with what Su Yang made. Moreover, Su Yang has made my taste buds picky now. If I get framed and can't eat the delicious food Su Yang cooks anymore, it would be like the sky is falling. Su Yang, who was sitting there with nothing to do, opened his mobile phone, intending to see if there was any recent news. As a result, in the Mobile Penguin group, the number of messages has already reached 99 plus. Naturally, the issues discussed were all related to Su Yang being reported. A handsome man. No. Who is so stupid to report Boss Su? Which stall owner is jealous? I'm really impressed. Boss Su's mistress. Which police station is this? I'll rush over right now. I eat what my husband cooks every day. Boss Sue's legal wife. Although I believe my husband is innocent, I also hope that some people in the group will not take advantage of the situation. Boss Sue can only have one legal wife, and that is me. Daniel Wu of Shanghai. I'm standing in front of the police station right now. I'm so unlucky. It was my turn in the queue, just now. I almost got to eat Boss Sue's fried beef noodles. Boss Sue's mistress. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. My dear would never do such a thing. No-no's stepmother. Who reported it? I will never let it go easily. Chapter 140, I'm just testing it. Is it necessary for you to do it one by one? Su Yang was a little confused when he saw the messages in the group. No, where do I get so many girlfriends, wives, and even mistresses? What's even more outrageous is that many people even change their names to Xiao Si or Xiao Wu of Boss Su. If Jingming saw this, he would be very anxious. The lawyer issued a warning. From the time Su Yang met the chief of the police station to now, it has only been a dozen minutes, but the messages in the group have never stopped. Xiao Feifei, who had just gone to the kitchen and had another argument with the chef, looked exhausted. There are complaints that need to be dealt with every day, and I don't know whether these chefs do it on purpose or are really incompetent. Anyway, the taste that customers want is never achieved. More and more old customers have chosen Lin's catering. The Lin family, which has only started to rise in Shanghai in recent years, has been growing bigger and bigger in the catering industry. Good chefs also chose to go there. There is no way. The salary they pay is indeed high. Although there are chefs everywhere in Shanghai, there are only a few really good chefs. Xiao Feifei was also helpless about this. She could only try to recruit chefs from other places, but the food they made often tasted a little different from that in Shanghai. As soon as she returned to the office, Feng Xiaoyao was already waiting for her. Sister Feifei, why is your phone off again? Didn't you see the message I sent you? Something happened just now. What happened? You don't know yet? It seems Su Yang was taken away by the police station for setting up a stall. Question mark. Xiao Feifei opened her mobile phone and saw the message in the Penguin group. Sure enough, all the news was related to Su Yangjin's police station. Some people even found pictures of the scene. Xiao Feifei flipped through the records and roughly understood the situation. The main thing was that Su Yang was reported by an old man when he was setting up a stall who asked whether the food he made was mixed with some banned substances. Xiao Feifei secretly breathed a sigh of relief. That was it? She thought it was something else. I dare not say anything else, but Xiao Feifei still believes that Su Yang would not do such a thing. How could he possibly put something so weird into the food? After all, both she and Nonoko had tasted the delicious food made by Su Yang. Just out of some worry, Xiao Feifei hesitated for a moment and finally called an elder named Uncle Chun on her mobile phone. Feng Xiaoyao was surprised. No, Sister Feifei, you are not? What's wrong with me? I'm worried that Su Yang will take too long, and I won't be able to pick him up from school this afternoon. Xiao Feifei spoke very seriously. On the other hand, Yonyan also learned the news. Who on earth is so bold as to touch his future son-in-law? Soon, Yonyan took out his cell phone and made the same call. After so many years in Shanghai, his network of contacts is not comparable to that of a little girl like Xiao Feifei. A phone call was made directly to the leadership of the police force. Hello, is this Director Qin? Yes, that's right. I'm Yonyan. In fact, Yonyan was not the only one who did this. After seeing the news that Su Yang had gone to the police station, other people in the group also started contacting their acquaintances. Even foreign friend Mr. Will is worried about Su Yang. After all, if he couldn't eat the delicious food Su Yang made every day, what was the point of staying in this city? In the South City police station. After all, Shanghai is a big city, and the security environment around it has always been good. The work in the police station is generally quite easy, and sometimes you may not even receive a single complaint call all day. Right now, Su Yang is sitting in the hall waiting for the test results. The director accompanied Su Yang and sat next to him. He wanted to speak several times, but didn't know what to say. Just at this moment, the cell phone in his pocket suddenly rang. As soon as he saw the calling number, his expression became nervous. Hello, Director Qin. What can I do for you? As soon as the director finished speaking, Director Qin on the other end of the phone went straight to the point. Let me ask you, did you go directly to the school gate today and arrest a young man named Su Yang? Well, that's what happened. The director suddenly had a bad feeling. He glanced at the calm Su Yang and wiped the sweat from his forehead. Do you have any evidence? Are you just arresting people randomly? I'm telling you, you must find out the truth, or you might arrest the wrong person. The director was completely confused. Damn, what's going on? Is Director Qin angry? No, why on earth? The director was even a little confused. Although Director Qin's words were very subtle, anyone who understood a little would know what he meant. He was obviously very dissatisfied with the fact that Su Yang was captured. The director couldn't help but look at Su Yang again. This seemingly young and gentle guy actually has such great power behind him. Isn't he a street vendor? And he has such a relationship with Director Chin? With such a relationship, why bother setting up a street stall? Could it be that another young man came out to experience life? However, the food Su Yang makes is indeed delicious, and you can tell at first glance that he is a professional. The director couldn't figure it out, but he didn't dare to be negligent towards Director Chin, so he spoke quickly. Director Chin, don't worry, we will never blame Su Yang wrongly. And we didn't arrest him. We just asked him to come and cooperate with the investigation. As you know, we just received complaints from other people, so we have to check it out as usual. But there's absolutely no need for an interrogation room. He's in the lobby right now, and I was just about to make him a cup of tea. The director said this while motioning to his men. Immediately, the young police officer hurried into the inner room and handed Su Yang a cup of brewed tea. He breathed a sigh of relief when he saw Su Yang take it. Su Yang still likes the tea in our institute very much. It's good that there is no problem. Anyway, I didn't teach you how to do it. But if there is really no problem with Su Yang, let him go as soon as possible. On the other end of the phone, Director Chin hung up after he finished speaking. By the time the director hung up the phone, even his back was wet. Today was really weird. If someone else called him, he wouldn't be so nervous. But Director Chin? He is famous for being strict. How is Su Yang related to Director Chin? The director was somewhat puzzled. At this moment, before his heartbeat had even recovered, the city leader actually called. As soon as the other party opened his mouth, the director looked at Su Yang. Needless to say, I came here for Su Yang again. Seeing the depressed look on the director's face, I felt as uncomfortable as if I had eaten a fly. Those who called him were all big shots whom he couldn't afford to offend. What happened today? No, I just asked Su Yang to come and check it out. Is it necessary for you all to do it one by one? Chapter 141. I asked you to do some tests here, but you just ate the food? What are the test results? Still not well? The director is feeling very uncomfortable now. In just a few minutes, he not only received calls from Director Chin and other leaders in the city, but just now he even received a call from the captain of the city branch. Without exception, they all asked about Su Yang. The director felt like crying but had no tears. The items have been handed over to the laboratory for testing. It will probably take another hour. Another hour? The director became a little impatient. It's not something difficult. It's just a simple test to see if there are any prohibited items in the food. Does it have to be so complicated? Go and urge them to hurry up. In any case, half an hour at most. I want to see the results. After hearing what the chief said, the police officer did not dare to refute anything. After all, he had just heard the director answer the phone call with his own ears. They are all untouchable. Even the police officer couldn't help but look at Su Yang twice more. A rich young man. Definitely a rich young man. He is out to experience life. Su Yang actually heard what the other party said on the phone, but he was also very surprised. What Chin Bureau? What leader? What squad leader? To be honest, he didn't know any of them. The police officer trotted all the way to the laboratory and was about to tell them what the chief had told him. However, I noticed that my colleague who was in charge of the test was eating with gusto. The thing in his hand was none other than the braised pork buns made by Su Yang. The police officer's eyes widened, and he stood there in a daze. No, I asked you to do some tests here, but you just ate the food? When colleagues from the laboratory saw the police officer coming, they even handed him a cup of mung bean smoothie. Brother, want a bite? It's perfect with these fried beef noodles. A colleague from the laboratory department was licking his fingers as he spoke, wishing he could lick all the sauce that came out of the braised pork buns clean. No. The police officer just felt a little headache, he said while holding back his saliva. The boss is in a hurry. You have to produce the results within half an hour. Result? What result? The colleagues in the laboratory were stunned for a moment. Then they remembered. I want to test Boss Su's food. It was so delicious that I couldn't resist and started eating it. But it doesn't matter, his face looked calm. The test results are just a little bit off, and looking at the display on the computer, the progress has been completed. Don't worry, there's nothing wrong with the food. All that's left is to write a report on the test results and give it to the director. Seeing this, the police officer felt relieved. Once you relax, you can't resist the temptation of delicious food. Boss Su's fried beef noodles are still so delicious. If this is left there, won't it be wasted when it gets cold? The director has always told us not to be extravagant and wasteful, but to be frugal. The more the police officer thought about it, the more it seemed to make sense. Finally, he couldn't help but reach out and grab the fried beef noodles in front of him and started eating. In an instant, an expression of extreme pleasure and enjoyment appeared on his face. It's no wonder that the old guy outside reported Boss Su. The food he cooked is really too outrageous. Soon, the test report of the test results was handed to the director, proving Su Yang's innocence. The director also breathed a sigh of relief. He knew that there was nothing wrong with Su Yang. I'm so sorry, Boss Su, for delaying your business. We can't do anything about it. Seeing that the director in front of him apologized personally and his attitude was very sincere, Soo-young was not the kind of person who liked to make things difficult for others. Besides, they were just doing their job and he really had nothing to say. Can I go now? Certainly. Seeing Soo-young turning around and about to leave, the old man who had just reported him suddenly stood in front of the two of them. His attitude was still somewhat unyielding. No, officer. Are you mistaken? How can there be no problem? The food this guy makes is really addictive. Are you guys shielding it? When the director saw the old man like this, he was speechless and said angrily, "Are you doubting the fairness of our law enforcement? Boss Soo runs a clean business, and his food is delicious. Isn't that enough? If you feel that we are protecting him and that there is a problem, you can appeal. But now, please leave our police station. Otherwise, I will have no choice but to detain you for disturbing the peace." The director was already full of anger, and he was worried that he couldn't find anyone to vent his anger on. And then this old man walked into the trap. If not scold him, who else should I scold? That's what I'm saying, old man. The test report is out. This thing can't be faked. The police officer at the side saw that the old man seemed a little unwilling to give up, so he also spoke up. However, in the face of overwhelming evidence, the old man remained unshaken and firmly believed that there was nothing wrong with him. Even the police officers feel a little troubled when they encounter such people. Comrade police officer, you say, could he have hidden something on his person? Or at home? Yes, why don't you search carefully? Maybe you will find something new. Seeing that the old man still had the same attitude, not to mention the director and the police officers, even Soo-young couldn't stand it. No, are you sick? Uncle, you have to believe in the fairness of our police. We will never favor Boss Soo. There is really nothing wrong with what he makes. Without evidence, we have no right to search the other party's home privately. The police officers in the police station were still explaining to the old man, but it seemed that he was not listening at all. Soo-young, who had been silent for a long time, couldn't help it anymore. He walked directly in front of the old man and said coldly, "Let me make you and everyone else a new serving of fried beef noodles. If it tastes the same as what you've had before, then there's nothing wrong with me. But you must apologize to me solemnly." Soo-young was really a little angry, as he usually had a good temper. But I really can't stand the old guy who keeps talking like a scoundrel. Originally, he thought it was just a small matter. It was normal to be questioned and reported by other people or colleagues when doing business. However, the investigation results are out, and the old guy still won't let it go, so you really can't blame Soo-young for not giving him face. How about it? Seeing Soo-young's tone and eyes change, the old man felt inexplicably palpitated and frightened. But after thinking about it, he frowned and nodded. "Okay, I'll do as you say. If you really have no problem, I, the old man, will apologize to you." Chapter 142. Do you think we're good for nothings? In the open space in front of the police station building, Soo-young set up his own seat. The customers and passersby who had been waiting here were just watching the fun, not knowing what was going on. What's going on? Why doesn't Boss Soo leave after he comes out? Is he setting up a stall? Setting up a stall inside the police station? What's the purpose of this? Didn't Boss Soo say that there was nothing wrong with the results of his examination? What's going on? Oh, need I say more? That old guy must not believe it. That's why Boss Soo demonstrated on the spot. That makes sense. If Boss Soo doesn't show off his cooking skills, the old man won't know what real cooking is. No, I have to use my phone to record it. The entrance of the police station was crowded with people. Many passersby passing by were extremely curious. What happened today? What kind of wrongful convictions have occurred at the police station? Why are there so many people crowding at the door? In particular, everyone took out their mobile phones and kept taking pictures. Inside, after Soo-young set up the stall, he directly started the process of stir-frying beef noodles. Get the pan ready, turn on the heat, add oil, and add the rice noodles. He even deliberately slowed down his hand movements in order to make it clear for everyone to see. Soon, as Soo-young continued to stir-fry, the pot instantly overflowed with an enticing aroma. Yes, it's still that familiar taste. The people at the door couldn't help but drool just by smelling it. It smells so good. The director who came out was also very greedy and swallowed his saliva frantically. I have to say, Boss Soo's cooking skills are truly unrivaled. How can he make a simple plate of fried beef noodles so fragrant and delicious? In his opinion, Soo-young is even better than a 5-star chef. After all, the materials used by Soo-young are accessible to ordinary people. It's simply turning decay into magic. As the fried beef noodles came out of the pot, Soo-young divided the pot into 2 portions. The police officer behind him was very sensible. He walked up and handed 1 copy to the director and 1 copy to the old man. The director took the fried beef noodles and couldn't wait any longer. It's a complete enjoyment when you take a bite and put it in your mouth. It's so delicious. The fried beef noodles made by Boss Sue taste oily but not greasy, and you can't stop eating it. He ate several mouthfuls in a row, making the police officers next to him so greedy that their saliva flowed from the corners of their mouths. They want to eat too. Resisting the temptation, he gave the other one to the old man. The old man didn't hesitate, picked up the chopsticks, picked up a bite, and put it in his mouth. In an instant, his expression changed. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Why? The smell of this fried beef noodles. The old man was stunned and stood there. He had been staring at Su Yang to see if he would use any tricks. But nothing worked, just normal fried beef noodles. But this taste is so delicious that it's unbelievable. What's more, it's even better than the fried beef noodles I had in the morning. This is too outrageous. There was disbelief in his eyes, but he was so addicted that he couldn't help but eat a few more bites. Seeing this, the director couldn't help but open his mouth to remind him. Old man, do you believe it now? We all watched Boss Sue make the beef noodles with our own eyes just now. There can't be anything wrong with this, right? The old man sighed, looked at the fried beef noodles in his hand, and remained silent for a long time. After a long while, he began to talk to himself. Could it be? Is it really that I made a mistake? After hearing the old man's words, even the onlookers couldn't help but speak. Nonsense. Of course you were mistaken. What else? Uncle, please. Can you please stop affecting Boss Sue's business? We have been waiting for the whole morning. Tell me the truth. Uncle, did you do this on purpose? Just to get another portion of Boss Sue's fried beef noodles, right? Fuck, brother. What you said makes a lot of sense. I didn't know there was such a method. No, if I don't buy the food made by Boss Sue later, will I report it? You dare to report me? If anyone reports me again, I will be the first one to not let him go. We won't let it go either. Hey guys, this is just a joke. Why would I report Boss Sue? The old man was looking at the fried beef noodles on his phone and listening to the sarcastic voices of the people around him. At this moment, he finally came to his senses. I really wronged Boss Sue. He walked up to Su Yang step by step and then spoke very sincerely. Boss Sue, old man, I'm sorry. To be honest, when Su Yang saw the old man in his 70s apologizing to him, his anger disappeared instantly. People become more stubborn as they get older. As long as we figure it out now, the truth will come out. In response to the old man's apology, Su Yang didn't say anything. He just smiled and spoke. You're welcome to queue up next time to eat the food I cook. Hearing Su Yang's words, the old man slowly smiled. This young guy has a really good temper. Why did I get so possessed today that I did something like this? The old man felt extremely guilty at this moment. He almost wrongly accuses a good person. The director standing by also smiled when he saw that the problem was finally solved. It seems that this matter has come to an end. Boss Sue's stall is clean and hygienic, and there is absolutely no problem at all. While the chief was speaking, the fried beef noodles in his hand were secretly taken away by several other police officers. The director hadn't even finished his summary when he hurriedly spoke. No, that's the fried beef noodles that Boss Sue made for me. What would you like to eat? Leave some for me. I'm the director, your boss. However, when it comes to delicious food, there is no hierarchy at all. In a short while, a bowl of fried beef noodles was divided up by several police officers. The director looked helpless. If he had known earlier, he should have finished eating before talking. Seeing that things were finally over, the people at the door started speaking to Su Yang. Boss Sue, we know that you are innocent. By the way, are you still having fried beef noodles today? I want 3 bowls. I want some too. I want some too. There's also braised pork buns and green bean shaved ice. I want one of each. In my opinion, Boss Sue should just avoid the trouble of changing places and just cook and sell here. Many people in the crowd supported this decision, but this was after all the entrance to the police station. The pressure instantly fell on the director again. The director looked at the people at the door, then at the eager eyes of the police officers around him, and he had no choice but to smile and speak. How about this, Boss Sue? We are sorry for interrupting your business today. You can set up a stall here and sell as much as you want. If you don't sell all, our police station will take all the money. The people at the door were instantly unhappy. No, Chief. Who are you looking down on? If you let Boss Sue set up a stall here to sell, will there be any left for you? Do you think we are good for nothings? Chapter 143, I'll consider this matter later based on your performance. At the Qingnan police station, a large group of police officers and passersby lined up together. This scene looks so outrageous, especially the chief of this police station. He naturally stood at the first place. Don't push. Can you have some manners? Pay attention to the image of our police force. Also, I'm the director, so I guess everyone has no objection to me being the first one, right? The director was originally a little embarrassed. After all, he had offended Su Yang early this morning. How can I have the face to buy breakfast from him in the future? However, Su Yang just gave me a look that showed that everything was fine. He is so generous. Why should I feel resentful? The director recovered quickly. Right now, the best way to express his love for the food Su Yang made is to buy more. He stood in the first position and took out his cell phone. Hey wife, let me tell you, I have a super delicious fried beef noodle stall here. What? You know? Yes, it's Boss Su who looks as handsome as your husband when he was young. You also want crystal cake and green bean smoothie? Okay. I'll arrange it for you. Hungry. I did accidentally find Boss Su and go back to the police station today, but the misunderstanding has been resolved. I was wrong, honey. Don't worry, I will never make such a mistake again. I know. I'll bring it back to you soon. The director called home, but the result was unexpected. It turns out that my wife is also a fan of Boss Su's food. No, the world is so small. Fortunately, he didn't make any big mistake. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to go home in a while. Boss Su, can you give me 2 servings of fried beef noodles? I also want green bean shaved ice. Do you have any crystal cakes left? By the time the director had made his purchase, the others in line were already getting impatient. Boss Su, I'll make you stir-fried beef noodles in 3 minutes. No. 3 servings? Can you finish them? What do you care about me? I love to eat. I want to eat, and I can eat. What's wrong with that? Okay, you're awesome. At the entrance of the police station, Su Yang's stall was bustling with activity. The police and passersby are truly like one family at this moment. Everyone was looking forward to and enjoying Su Yang's delicious food. Even the chef of the police station canteen ran away. Originally, he was very angry when he learned that no one came to the cafeteria to eat lunch today. I prepared the meal, but you don't want to eat it? Do you look down on me, old Wu? In the middle of the day, you still want to eat at a street stall? What kind of street stall is this? It's even brought to the police station? I have to overturn your stall for you. Chef Old Wu walked out angrily, but the moment he saw that it was Boss Su who set up the stall, the displeasure on his face immediately turned into admiration. Isn't this my master? Chef Shu. Old Wu followed with a flattering expression on his face and insisted on helping Su Yang. All the police officers in line were stunned. Is this still the fearless and awesome Old Wu? Why is he as docile as a puppy in front of Su Yang? Oh, by the way, it's not as docile as a puppy. Then it is a fucking puppy. Everybody couldn't believe it. With that fawning look, everyone would believe you if you said you were the eunuch beside the emperor. No. How come even Old Wu is a fan of Boss Su? He seems to be a die-hard fan. Now it seems that the entire Nanjing police station has fallen. To put it bluntly, it turns out that everyone usually goes to Boss Su's stall to buy food. Of course not. This is my master. All of you line up properly. If anyone dares to cut in line, don't say that I don't give face to Old Wu. I'll chop him to death. Su Yang smiled faintly at this. Old Wu, the chef in the police station, has been amazed since he tasted the braised pork buns and fried beef noodles made by Su Yang. Later, he took the initiative to join Su Yang's fan group of foodies. I also had crystal cake, twice-cooked pork, and chicken tofu pudding. With every delicious meal, his admiration for Su Yang continued to grow. In his eyes, Su Yang is simply the god of food. Although, Su Yang never promised anything. But in Old Wu's heart, Su Yang is his master. Even though Old Wu is almost 60 years old, Su Yang is not even 30 yet. But is age a problem? 2 people in love, bah. That's wrong. There is no generation gap in age when it comes to admiring someone. Now, Old Wu has become the administrator of Su Yang's penguin group through his own efforts. If he hadn't checked his phone at work today, he would have been the first one to rush out if he knew that the director had taken Su Yang back to the police station for examination. Given his temper, he would have been the first one to rush out no matter what. What happened to the director? The director won't eat anymore? If you dare to touch my super idol, Boss Su, I'm afraid you won't want to enjoy your lunch at the police station in the future. Believe it or not, I'll add some ingredients to it. Naturally, everyone believed what Old Wu said. With his personality, he is really daring. After all, I've been working in the Institute for more than 30 years. He has devoted almost his entire life here and has outlasted many directors. It can be said that directors come and go, but Old Wu remains forever. Soon, with the efforts of the police officers and everyone else, all the breakfast ingredients prepared by Su Yang were sold out. Even so, everyone still looked unsatisfied. No, Boss Su. Why are they sold out so soon? Everyone hasn't had enough. Don't worry, I'll also be setting up a stall in the afternoon and evening. I'll have crystal cakes and other new dishes by then. You're welcome to come and join us. Oh, Boss Su, where do you set up your stall? The director's eyes lit up when he heard this. It would be perfect if he could also eat the delicious food made by Boss Su after get off work in the evening. Especially the crystal cakes and other new dishes. Don't expect too much. I'm in the penguin group, and there will be notifications when the time comes. Penguin Colony? The director reacted and saw that there was indeed a QR code of a chat group on Su Yang's dining car. He quickly took out his mobile phone, scanned it, and skillfully applied to join the group. Sorry, you are rejected from joining the group. Looking at the rejection message on his phone, the director was a little confused. Boss Su, take a look, what's going on? Is it full? Su Yang was also a little confused. It was strange and shouldn't be like this. The upper limit of the Penguin group was currently 5,000 people. It's just approaching 4,000 now. And I didn't refuse the director from joining the group. He was just about to see what was going on when Old Wu, who was eating fried beef noodles at the side, spoke up. Boss Su, it was me who refused the director's admission into the group. The director looked over with a puzzled look after hearing this. Seeing the director looking at him, Old Wu's originally respectful back instantly straightened up, and he spoke with an unhappy tone. Who told you not to trust Boss Su? This is the unanimous decision of our group administrators. You will not be accepted into the group. I'll consider it later based on your performance. Chapter 144. You ate it so you could eat it, but why did you run away with the crystal cake? Not only is Su Yang fine now, he is also selling breakfast outside the police station. The news quickly spread among the Penguin group. After seeing this, Xiao Feifei, He Yongyin, and others also breathed a sigh of relief and smiled knowingly. But to be honest, although I know Su Yang would not do that kind of thing, but selling breakfast at the police station? This is a bit too abstract. The most important thing is that everything was sold out in less than half an hour. Even the chef in the police station started eating happily. This guy Su Yang is really popular everywhere. At the same time, on Douyin, some passersby who were watching the incident took photos and posted them online. The food was reported because it was too delicious. After careful inspection at the police station, it was discovered that the boss's breakfast. A total clickbait title. You can tell at first glance that you've read too many websites on UC. Ahem, no, it's just that I've read too many UC clickbait headlines. Many netizens even read the title before clicking on the video, mistakenly thinking that something was really added to breakfast. After all, this matter is indeed nothing new. To be honest, the catering industry in Longwa has always been a hard-hit area. Adding some chemicals and even poppy shells into food is a common practice. Especially in the past 2 years, spicy hot pot and skewers were the hardest hit. Therefore, many people started criticizing and scolding without even clicking on the video. As a result, someone left a message below, asking if they could watch the video first before speaking. I clicked on the video with doubts, and after watching it all, I realized that the clown was actually myself. Damn it, isn't this Boss Su? How could the food he sells be problematic? Where did this headline come from? I'm reporting it. This old man is too outrageous, isn't he? Can someone take care of him? Don't let him eat the food made by Boss Su anymore. He's going to be so greedy. Is this the boss Su you've all been talking about? He looks so young and handsome. In the south city of Magic City. I want to go there and try some food too. Boss Su, yes. I remember now. Wasn't he the man in the video that made the kindergarten kids cry? Boss Su, right? Boss Su, I really want to learn how to cook. From you. No. Can the male student above please stop smelling it? With the popularity of this video, the name Boss Su is no longer just famous in Shanghai, but has become famous all over the country. Countless people want to try it for themselves. Are the street food sold by Boss Su really so delicious? Even Su Yang's Penguin Group was flooded with requests for new members. Of course, since there is a responsible administrator like Lao Wu in the group, he will naturally not let them in. But this way, the workload has also increased a lot. Even occasionally, there are 1 or 2 that slip through the net. It would be fine if these people were just Su Yang's foodie fans. But there are many advertisements selling fake shoes. There are even some people who post H pictures. The picture even blatantly shows the online resources of xxx.com. After these people were discovered, they were naturally kicked out immediately. But the incident still caused quite a bit of impact. But there is really no other way but to distinguish them more carefully. The rules have even come to the point that all numbers that are not from the Magic City address will be rejected. On Su Yang's side, he leisurely rode his bicycle back to the old town. What was happening in the group right now, as intense as a war, seemed to have nothing to do with him. At the gate of the yard, Grandpa Zhang and many of his neighbors were chatting. When he saw Su Yang coming back, he spoke very enthusiastically. How's it going, Xiao Su? Is everything all right? I heard from old Zhang that you were caught for setting up a stall. These city management officers are really useless and are just picking on us ordinary people. Sister Lu, that's not an urban management officer. It's a police officer from the police station. So what? Isn't our Xiao Su fine? The investigation results prove our Xiao Su's innocence. Don't be afraid, Xiao Su. Next time you encounter something like this, just call me Annie. My son is from the city. No, Sister Lu, your son is from the city. But isn't he just driving for the leaders? He's a driver. What happened to the driver? Haven't you heard? The driver is the leader's confidant, the kind he loves more than his left and right hands. The neighbors were talking to each other, and although they were noisy, Su-yang could feel that everyone was doing it for his own good. Feeling everyone's enthusiasm, Su-yang smiled and spoke. By the way, are you thirsty? I have some green bean smoothie at home. I'll take it out and let you quench your thirst. Oh no, Xiao Su. Why are you so polite to the uncles and aunts? That's right. Would your Uncle Zhang be interested in your melons and dates? It would be even better if there were some crystal cakes. Uncle Zhang took the opportunity to say that mung bean shaved ice alone is not enough. We should at least have some crystal cake. Su-yang also smiled. Uncle Zhang looks just like myself during the Chinese New Year as a child. When relatives stuffed New Year's money into your pocket, you said no, but your body honestly opened your pockets. Su-yang walked into the house and pretended to go to the refrigerator. But in fact, he took out some mung bean shaved ice and crystal cake from the system's constant temperature fresh-keeping box. He distributed what he had to the neighbors at the door. Although everyone said, Xiao Su, you are too polite, their hands were moving faster than each other. There is no way. If you hesitate for a moment at this moment, you will be defeated. You don't have to be the one with the fastest hands, but you must be faster than those old men and women. Each person can have a cup of mung bean shaved ice, but the crystal cake is limited. Whoever moves faster can eat one more piece. Faced with such delicious food, these old men and women in their 50s and 60s seem to be 20 or 30 years younger. There's nothing I could do about it, since the food Su-yang cooks is just so delicious. Especially when paired with iced mung bean shaved ice, the feeling of refreshing to the bone is simply intoxicating. In fact, of course, they also watch and learn what Su-yang does every day. Su-yang is not a secretive person. But the problem is, no matter how many times I watched it or how many times I practiced privately, I just couldn't make the taste that Su-yang made. That ultimate wonderful taste seems to be a leading culinary field. They can't reach it anyway. Lao Zhang, you shameless bastard. You ate it. Why did you run away with the crystal cake? In the distance, Uncle Zhang was jogging with a box of crystal cakes in his arms. Seeing him walking so fast, it is impossible to associate him with his head full of white hair. Uncle Zhang stopped after running to the end of the alley and said breathlessly, "This is called striking first and gaining the upper hand. Xiao Su gave it to me, so of course I have to savor it slowly by myself." Chapter 145, is this something a 3- or 4-year-old child should eat? Su-yang returned home and took a short rest. Soon, in less than half an hour, he was busy again. First, I ordered myself a serving of scrambled eggs with tomatoes and a portion of jiawei twice-cooked pork, paired with white rice. It tasted so delicious. Geez, scrambled eggs, perfect. It's really a bit too delicious. Even Su-yang himself couldn't resist the temptation of this delicious food and drank 3 bowls of white rice in a row. It's really too tempting. To be honest, he himself was a little suspicious whether there was something else added to the dish. As usual, Su-yang also planned to set up his stall in the afternoon. The ingredients used are royal chicken wings. He had already bought selected chicken wings at the vegetable market in the morning. These wings are not only extremely fresh, but also have a natural and attractive color, and even the surface texture is clearly visible. Only with such carefully selected ingredients can the dishes be smoother and more refreshing, and the meat will be more delicate. As for troublesome ingredients like mung bean shaved ice, Su-yang would have the store owner personally deliver them. The meeting time is fixed every day, so Su-yang doesn't have to worry at all. The bosses are also very happy to cooperate with Su-yang, as the business is stable and the quantity required is large. Su-yang started to wash the mung beans that were sent to him. Each of these green beans looks plump and translucent, and it is obvious that the boss gave the best to Su-yang. Just as he was cleaning it bit by bit, the little guy Nono called him via video. As soon as Su-yang answered the phone, he heard Ninua's childish and anxious voice from the other end, which was a bit childish and full of concern. "Dad, how did you get captured by Uncle Hat?" There was also a bit of helplessness on Su-yang's face. "No, how come it seems like the whole world knows about what just happened?" "Don't worry, Dad is fine." Su-yang still smiled gently and spoke to Nunua. That's good. I knew that Dad is the best person. Uncle Hat won't make things difficult for Dad." Su-inua also showed a look of relief on his face. It seemed as if he was really worried about Su-yang just now. After hearing that Su-yang was fine, her little face showed relief, and then she told Su-yang about what happened in kindergarten. Just now at lunchtime, as soon as Su-inua sat down at the seat in the kindergarten cafeteria, the other children all looked over at him. At present, Su-inua has become a big star in the kindergarten. Everyone envied her for having a father who cooked such delicious food. "No, what delicious food did your father make for you today?" Some kindergarten children couldn't help but ask. Su-inua did not hide on purpose, but opened the lunchbox proudly. Today's lunch is Su-yang's new dish, royal chicken wings. Smelling the aroma of chicken wings in the lunchbox, the children couldn't help but stretch their necks to look over. The chicken wings in front of Su Inua were golden and shiny in color, and you could tell at a glance that they tasted absolutely delicious. The sound of swallowing saliva could be heard throughout the restaurant. Teacher Zhang Qian, who had just come over from the cafeteria after getting her meal, was also a little helpless. Don't look at other people's food. Children, eat your own food. With Teacher Zhang Qian's order, the other children reluctantly withdrew their gazes. However, after seeing the royal concubine chicken wings in Su Inua's lunchbox, and then looking at the food prepared by his family, normally, when we were at home, we ate the same food, which was not even as good as the food brought to kindergarten. But you can eat it at home and enjoy it. Once I arrived at the kindergarten and saw the lunch that Su Inua brought, how could I eat it? It feels like the food I brought is not something a 3 or 4-year-old child should eat. This is totally something I cannot bear at my age. Envious eyes would glance over here from time to time. Seeing this, Teacher Zhang Qian simply stood over and stood in front of Su Inua so that the other children could not see him. But the kids can't see it, so Teacher Zhang Qian is in trouble. The aroma of guifei chicken wings kept wafting towards her. She couldn't help swallowing again and again. No, it's just chicken wings. How can it smell so good? Does it make sense anymore? To be honest, even Teacher Zhang Qian was a little confused. Chicken wings are not difficult to make. Although it is guifei chicken wings, it is not much more difficult to make than the cola chicken wings made at home. But the problem is, even cola chicken wings would never be so fragrant. The aroma is at least 10 times stronger than that of cola chicken wings, right? It's outrageous. Did Su Yang add any spices to the chicken wings? Teacher Zhang Qian couldn't help but feel a little suspicious. But soon she smiled herself. How is it possible? This is lunch for the little guy. Su Yang loves Su Inua so much, he would never do such a thing. Teacher Dakian, do you want to try the chicken wings my father made? Okay. No need. When Zhang Qian heard Su Inua's words, she subconsciously expressed that she wanted to eat, but she quickly regained her senses. No matter what, she is a kindergarten teacher and an adult. How can she not have this little self-control? The chicken wings in Su Inua's lunchbox only cost 5 yuan in total. If he ate them himself, what would the little guy eat? The teacher is food, and the cafeteria and also made spare ribs today. Teacher Zhang Qian tried her best to show an expectant expression, but unfortunately her eyes had already betrayed her. Just like other kids, he kept staring at the royal chicken wings in Su Inua's lunchbox and almost never looked away. In the past, people always said that kindergarten teachers had a hard life, but she didn't think so. Now Zhang Qian finally understood that being a kindergarten teacher is really painful. No, Su Yang, you are using this to test the kindergarten teachers. Who can stand it? Hey, Teacher Dakian, here's a chicken wing for you. Dad said that good things taste better when shared. As Su Inua spoke, he took the initiative to use chopsticks to pick up the chicken wings and put them in a Teacher Zhang Qian's bowl. It's just that the chicken wings were too tender, and there was some sauce on them, and Su Inua wasn't very skilled at using chopsticks. I was not careful, and the chicken wings almost fell to the ground. Fortunately, Teacher Zhang Qian was quick-witted and quickly reached out to catch the chicken wing that almost fell to the ground. Seeing this situation, Teacher Zhang Qian could only eat the imperial concubine chicken wing very reluctantly. Then, Teacher, you're welcome. After Zhang Qian finished speaking, the expression on her face showed impatience. Bring the chicken wings in your hand to your mouth, and the tempting aroma will come out in waves. Just one bite of the smooth and tender chicken wings almost made her soul leave her body. There is no mistake about this almost superb sense of satisfaction. It can only be achieved with Su Yang's craftsmanship. Chapter 146 Teacher, when you reach my age, you will be more mature and steady in many things. So delicious. If the little guy Nono wasn't looking at her expectantly, Teacher Zhang Qian would have wanted to eat the chicken wing bones as well. These imperial chicken wings are simply perfect. Teacher Zhang Qian couldn't help but start fantasizing. This was just a dish cooked by Su Yang, and she was already so satisfied. If he cooked something else, how could she bear it? Especially Su Yang came in person. He must be great at it. Cough, cough. After wiping the saliva that was flowing uncontrollably from the corner of her mouth, Teacher Zhang Qian gave a big thumbs up to the little guy, Su Inua. These chicken wings are really delicious. Su Inua also smiled happily when he heard Teacher Zhang Qian's satisfactory comments. More gratifying than having your father recognized. At this moment, as Su Inua's good friend, Yaya couldn't help herself anymore. Today her chef mother made her scrambled eggs with tomatoes. But sitting next to him was Su Inua, and it was hard not to smell the aroma of the guifei chicken wings. Especially seeing Teacher Zhang Qian's extremely satisfied expression after eating. How could a kindergarten kid resist? More importantly, In addition to the imperial chicken wings, Su Inua's lunchbox also contained scrambled eggs with tomatoes. But her scrambled eggs with tomatoes looks more fragrant and delicious. Yaya recalled the day when Su Yang came to the kindergarten kitchen to cook. A bowl of scrambled eggs with tomatoes made her so hungry. No. Can I try your scrambled eggs with tomatoes? Su Inua was enjoying the delicious food and concentrating on eating. After hearing Yaya's words, she slowly raised her head, with rice grains still stuck on the corners of her mouth. It looks absolutely delicious. Su Inua just blinked in confusion and then spoke. Didn't your mother also make you scrambled eggs with tomatoes? In Yaya's lunchbox, there is not only scrambled eggs with tomatoes, but also classic braised spare ribs and stir-fried pork with green beans. If it weren't for Su Inua, what Yaya's mother did would have been a huge lead in the kindergarten. Unfortunately, I happened to meet Su Yang. Even a master chef suffered a crushing blow. However, this also aroused Yaya's mother's competitive spirit. She planned to take a good look at what kind of person Su Yang is during the kindergarten activities. If that doesn't work, let's have a cooking competition on the spot. But I just want to eat what your father made. Yaya stared at the food in Su Inua's bowl with envy. Although the one cooked by mom was also delicious, it was obvious that the one in Su Inua's bowl was more tempting. Seeing this, Su Inua was also very generous and pushed the bowl over. Well, I'll give you a taste. Thank you, no. Yaya was very happy and couldn't wait to scoop a mouthful with a spoon in her hand. Scrambled eggs with tomatoes. Sure enough, what Nono's dad makes is different. The right amount of sweet and sour, rich juice, tender and soft taste is simply a wonderful enjoyment. Wow, it's really a good time. The smile on Yaya's face became even happier. The little guy Su Inua at the side blinked in confusion. It's both scrambled eggs with tomatoes, and although the one made by Dad should be better, does Yaya have to be so exaggerated? She asked with some curiosity. Can I have a bite of the scrambled eggs with tomatoes that your mother made? Of course, I'll give them all to you. Su Inua quickly waved her hands. No, I just want to taste it. Then, Su Inua picked up a piece of scrambled eggs with tomato from Yaya's bowl with chopsticks. Just as she took a bite, her little brows couldn't help but frown slightly. It's not that it tastes bad, it's just that tomatoes taste like tomatoes and eggs taste like eggs. It was very strange, and Su Inua's little brain didn't know how to describe it. Anyway, it's just not delicious. Of course, compared with other restaurants outside, it is still quite good. After all, many restaurants can't even make tomato and egg flavors. Although Su Inua didn't say anything, the expression on his face was obvious. Yaya was not surprised, but rather very calm. How is it? Is it not as delicious as your father's? This? Faced with Yaya's calmness, Su didn't even know how to respond for a moment. No, didn't Yaya think that the food her mother cooked was the most delicious in the world? Why did it change so suddenly? Sure enough, women are fickle. Su Inua thought about it and nodded his head vigorously. What I thought made so much sense. She must not become a woman like Yaya in the future. Well, now it should be little woman. He gave Yaya 2 more bites and also gave her a piece of royal chicken wings. Only then did Su Inua continue to concentrate on eating. Soon, the full lunchbox was eaten up. Even my belly became round. One can even clearly feel that Nuonuo seems to have gained a little weight recently. There's nothing we can do about it, since Su Yang's stuff is so good, and he always finishes the job. If it weren't for the other children in the kindergarten and teacher Zhang Qian, who would always get some food from Su Inua, she would probably have become even fatter. Fortunately, everything is under control. After washing the lunchboxes, Zhang Qian took the kindergarten children to take a nap. While everyone was asleep, Zhang Qian turned on her mobile phone, put on headphones, and watched Douyin. I just happened to see a hot search, and the content was exactly related to Su Inua's father, Su Yang. Su Inua, who couldn't sleep during his nap, happened to come over and saw the scene of Su Yang being taken away by the police. For a moment, she was so scared that she thought Su Yang had done something bad. After teacher Zhang Qian explained, the solemnity on the little guy's face disappeared. So someone reported the food as problematic? That's fine. Seeing Su Inua's relaxed expression, teacher Zhang Qian couldn't help but speak. Why aren't you worried about your dad anymore? Teacher Dakian, don't worry. This isn't the first time that dad has been reported. We encountered this before when we were setting up a stall at night. Su Inua had a calm expression on his face, and his eyes seemed to be saying something. What is this? I have seen storms as big as this one. Teacher, when you reach my age, you will be more mature and steady in many things. However, in order to confirm, Su Inua still planned to call Su Yang. Of course, the main reason is that she misses her dad again. Time goes so slowly in kindergarten. Although there are many other children and the very kind teacher to Qian, the little guy just wants to stick to Su Yang all the time. Why do people have to go to kindergarten? Su Inua expressed great incomprehension. This is simply like going to jail and wasting your life. It's not as interesting as setting up a stall with Su Yang. Moreover, you can make money by setting up a stall and buy lots of candy and ice cream. Chapter 147, I still like your rebellious look more. I said my father is the best man in the world. How could he be arrested? Su Yang found it very interesting when he saw Su Ino's mischievous look in the video on his mobile phone. He smiled and spoke. Don't worry, Dad is fine. He will go out to set up a stall in the afternoon. By the way, did Nuonuo have a good lunch today? Of course. The scrambled eggs with tomatoes made by my dad are delicious. A happy expression instantly appeared on Su Inua's little face. Just eat it if you like. Dad, I really want to finish school soon so I can set up the stall with you. Just play with the other kids in the kindergarten, and I'll pick you up after school. Okay, Nuonuo understands, but Daddy shouldn't work too hard, okay? Little guy, are you controlling your dad? Dad has to make money to buy delicious food for Nuonuo. No, just tell Dad quietly that Nuonuo has money. Lots of money. A lot of money? Where did you get it? Su Yang was a little confused. It's New Year's money. My mom gave it to me last year, and she asked me to hide it secretly. My grandparents also gave me a lot. All right, Su Yang nodded. Now that Nuonuo is 3 years old, it is almost time for him to receive New Year's money. It seems that I have to prepare a big red envelope for Nuonuo this year. Thinking back, what I looked forward to most when I was a child was the Chinese New Year, because I could receive a lot of lucky money. Although later they were confiscated by your parents in the name of keeping them for you. However, the moment he got it, the young Su Yang knew that he was happy. Okay. Nuonuo won't disturb Daddy anymore. Nuonuo is going to take a nap. Okay, Dad has to get busy too. After the two waved goodbye to each other, Su Yang hung up the phone. He put the washed mung beans into the pot and started cooking. Then I took advantage of this free time to start making crystal cakes. Soon, it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Su Yang has prepared everything. Looking at the things prepared on the dining car, crystal cakes, mung bean shaved ice, and other delicacies have already been made. Enough to sell through the afternoon. I checked the Magic City Food Stall app in my mind, but unfortunately Jay Chou's concert has ended today. According to the system app, the best spot to set up a stall today is the pedestrian street where Su Yang often set up a stall before. This place does have a large flow of people, and although there is a small fee, the intersection Su Yang chose is the one closest to the outside, so the fee is very low. And because of the hot sales in the previous few times, every tourist who comes to the pedestrian street for shopping can't help but come to this entrance to take a look. If you happen to run into Su Yang setting up a stall, you will make a lot of money. Su Yang himself still likes this location very much. The flow of customers is one reason, and the other is that it is close to the kids' kindergarten, which is quite convenient. Before setting off, I posted an announcement in the Penguin group. Today's stall is located on Nanjing Road Pedestrian Street. We have a new product, Royal Chicken Wings. Welcome to come and taste it. As soon as Su Yang's message was released, the group immediately became active. Everyone seemed to have just been released from prison, and each one was howling like a hungry wolves. Boss Su, drive slowly. The little foreigners will always be with you. Su Yang. Su Yang was very leisurely along the way, even whistling. He was not in a hurry or in a hurry. The weather is very good today, not too hot nor too cold. What he didn't know was that those little foreigners in the group were extremely active at this moment. Some people were originally driving to go on a business trip in the afternoon, but after seeing Su Yang's message in the group, they turned around at the intersection before getting on the highway and decided to buy a few boxes of crystal cakes before leaving. There were also some shared electric bikes that just picked up the street side and set off. Those electric bikes, which could only run at 30 miles per hour, were forced to go at 50 miles per hour. Even when the traffic policeman raised his hand to signal to stop the car, he couldn't suppress his inner excitement. He thought the traffic policeman was waving at him, so he went up and gave him a high five. As for the result, even the students who were lying flat in the university dormitory sat up in shock from their dying dreams. As if he had a last burst of light, he put on his clothes and shoes and ran downstairs. If you don't know, you might think it's a fire drill. By the time Su Yang leisurely arrived at the pedestrian street, there were already 40 or 50 people lining up in a long queue in the open square in front of him. The crowd who were watching and didn't know the truth were all confused. Before Su Yang came, they had no idea what this group of people were doing. Although I was queuing, there was nothing in front of me. It even made them break out in cold sweats in broad daylight. Are they afraid that there is something ahead that they can't see? But how can you come out in broad daylight? When Su Yang appeared riding the classic food truck, the onlookers suddenly understood. It turns out they were all waiting for Boss Su. What, it's Boss Su? Boss Su is here to set up a stall today? It only took 0.233 seconds for the crowd to react and run to the end of the line to line up. This is too damn lucky, right? After buying the delicious food sold by Boss Su, I have to buy 2 more scratch-off lottery tickets. Su Yang parked the car in front of the people queuing and then began to set up the stall step by step. The managers of the pedestrian street square also came over. He originally planned to inform the other party that the price of this stall had already been increased due to special reasons. The stall fee used to be only $50, but now it's at least $300. Don't think it's expensive. Even at this price, many stall owners are rushing to pay. As for the reason, it's because this place has become a must-go for tourists on the pedestrian street. Almost all tourists who come to the pedestrian street will consciously come to this square to take a look. This place used to be quite remote and few people came here, but now it is completely different. The reason for all this, of course, is because of one person. Fuck, isn't this Boss Su? The administrator walked closer and saw that the person setting up the stall here was none other than Su Yang. Su Yang didn't know about the price increase yet. He just took out the 50 yuan note he had prepared in advance. The administrator quickly waved his hand and said politely, "Boss Su, you're giving us face by setting up a stall here. How can we accept your money? You can arrange it however you like. It's best if you come here every day." The administrator's fawning look made the other stall owners nearby look confused. Is this still the same cunning, cruel, and mean administrator? How come he suddenly became a different person? He's like a eunuch. Not to mention them. Even Su Yang felt a little uncomfortable. You didn't have this attitude when you set up the stall here on your first day, right? I still like your rebellious look more. Chapter 148. Are you sick? Are you brain damaged? After the administrator left, Su Yang set up his stall. The guests in the queue were also getting excited. "Boss Su, hurry up. I've been waiting for you for a long time. I even skipped lunch on purpose. Boss Su, my wife is giving birth today. Can you sell me 2 more boxes of crystal cakes later? I just broke up with my boyfriend, and the doctor said I need to use food therapy, and it has to be chicken tofu pudding made by Boss Su himself. I am the emperor, so I should eat imperial concubine chicken wings." When Su Yang heard the people in the queue joking, he smiled faintly and just thought it was very interesting. This is probably the fun of setting up a stall, full of the breath of life. It is completely different from Midnight Diner starring a certain star named Huang. That was just for show. But Su Yang is different. He can really make wonderful food. No wonder Su Yang often comes across memes about celebrities with the surname Huang recently. Most of them are about his cooking. What about crab, hawthorn pot-wrapped pork, mushy beggar's chicken, poisoned old beans, pig's trotters stewed with rice wine without water? It's so funny. There were even many people leaving comments under the video, asking Chef Huang to find some time to visit the Magic City. Let Boss Su teach him how to make delicious dishes. Whenever Su Yang saw this, he would smile helplessly. He doesn't want to have anything to do with these stars. It's just too troublesome. Even if it's Yang Mi, it's only because the little guy likes it. As for himself, Su Yang thought about it and felt that Yang Mi's figure was indeed quite good. New product: royal chicken wings, 30 yuan per serving, limited to 1 serving per person. After Su Yang set up the stall, he first added a new menu line on the board. There really are new products? Boss Su is so efficient, he almost comes up with a new dish every day. It's not important to have a new product every day. What's important is that the food made by Boss Su is of such high quality. Always trust Boss Su. As Su Yang opened the constant temperature fresh-keeping box he brought with him, he took out the prepared chicken tofu and imperial chicken wings. Both of these things are relatively complicated and almost impossible to do on site, and the guests will have to wait too long. Not to mention the people in the queue. Even Su Yang himself couldn't stand it. Seeing that the imperial concubine chicken wings were prepared in advance, no one was dissatisfied. They still have great trust in Su Yang. Since Boss Su took it directly out of the box, it means there will be no problem with the taste. Sure enough, the first customer in line couldn't help but order a serving of royal chicken wings. The moment you get it and open the box, the aroma of the Gui Fei chicken wings wafts out. The rich fragrance seems to be coming from the body of an ancient imperial concubine. This smell is so good. The customers in the queue behind couldn't wait to stretch their necks and come forward, their throats swirling with saliva. Just by looking at the brightly colored chicken wings, you can imagine how delicious they are. Boss Su's new product is absolutely delicious. There are actually 5 chicken wings? Boss Su is really too kind. If this is placed in a big hotel and set up as a stall, wouldn't it cost 188? 188? I'm afraid it's more than that. Boss Su's products are really down to earth and affordable. To be honest, I feel a little sorry for them. How about you raise the price? Yes. I'm afraid that Boss Su will lose money and run away. Without Boss Su's delicious food, what's the meaning of life? If you ask me, why not just make a tip QR code? This outrageous suggestion of tipping QR codes was actually recognized by many people. Even the other stall owners nearby were shocked. What the hell? Did I hear that right? Can you collect tips by setting up a street stall? Isn't that something high-end hotels used to earn service fees? The point is, their service is not that great. Not even as good as fishing a hair from the bottom of the water. But they really dare to charge the service fee. But even if they charge, it's a big hotel. What are we doing here? A street stall? I have never heard of street vendors charging tips or service fees. But this is not the most outrageous thing. The most outrageous thing is that this outrageous suggestion was made by the customer himself. Are you sick? Are you brain damaged? The stall owners nearby dare not even think about it. But this is just a suggestion. Su Yang will never accept it. If he wants to make a lot of money, it would be too easy with his current skills. It's some Lin's catering group. As long as Su Yang is willing to go, an annual salary of several million would not be a problem. The first customer who bought the Guifei chicken wings could no longer contain his excitement and desire. He picked up the chicken wings from the box and took a bite. The extremely tempting color of the chicken wings blooms between your teeth, and the translucent meat seems to contain endless delicious juice. The flesh and bones are separated with a light suck, and it is smooth and not greasy. The skin is just the right crispy texture, while the meat inside is soft and delicate, and your mouth is filled with that intoxicating gelatinous and soft feeling. It's as if your taste buds are gently wrapped at this moment, enjoying an unprecedented ultimate deliciousness. Whoa! The customer ate the food while sobbing like a little kid. The Imperial Concubine chicken wings were so delicious that it made him cry. What the hell? Is it that exaggerated? No, brother. You're really not acting, are you? We know that Boss Su's food is delicious, but you wouldn't do this, would you? The customer wiped the tears from the corners of his eyes, then smiled with great satisfaction. These chicken wings are so delicious. In particular, he reminds me of my grandma. My family was very poor at that time, and a meal of braised chicken wings will be remembered for a long time. I'll never forget my grandma's chicken wings. The people in the queue fell silent after hearing this. So that's what happened. Everyone had blamed him wrongly just now, and thought he was putting on a show. After a long while, someone spoke in the crowd. I really envy you. The chicken wings your grandma makes must be as delicious as those made by Boss Su. The customer shook his head firmly, and then replied earnestly. No, my grandma's eyesight is not very good. I remember clearly that he mistook vinegar for soy sauce. Su Yang. To be honest, even Su Yang didn't expect this answer. The people in the queue burst into laughter. You are really something. What you said before was so lyrical. What else did you think it was? Oh my God. It turns out he was holding a grudge. So many years have passed, but you still can't forget the chicken wing grudge? You don't understand how difficult